And we're back. Welcome, welcome. We've got one last series to give you guys this fine Saturday afternoon or evening, late night, depending if you're in Europe. So fun update on the other series. Looks like the Mista actually had to bow out. It was just like super duper late over there. And so he's bowing out and forfeiting, and that's going to allow Lash to try and take a stab at Marine Lord. So that'll be going on concurrently. However, we've got Myriad and Magic to face off here in the qualifying round. One of these guys gets to go to King of the Rockies. The other one will also be invited to, go to King of the Rockies, but would just be a spectator if they did. So we will see. We're starting off here looking at the draft. To nobody's surprise, China, Zushi, and Rus have all been banned. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I like some of these other civs you get to see. I'm tired of seeing China and Rus. It'll be Jeanne d'Arc versus Byzantines. This is a fun matchup. A little different than just the classic French Byzantine magic that we usually get to see. So, who do you prefer here, Yak?
Definitely depends on how the spawns are and how Myriad plays it. Obviously, he's gonna go aggro, but how is Magic able to defend? And Magic is also kind of been away from the game a little bit. Depends on how he is attuned to the meta, or if he likes the meta, if he likes how he plays himself.
I believe was it Wham who was training him up and getting him up to speed. I feel like Magic's been pretty good thus far through the series. He's had some good shows.
He's been pretty dominant in terms of he hasn't dropped a game, right? So it's Magic. He's beaten Gully Deckle last series, and now he's going up against Myriad, right? So he should be solid. In terms of the drafts, just in general, some mix of things. For Magic, there is definitely the Knight Civs, the two Knight Civs, the Templar and the French, right? There's Ayyubids and Abbassid, interestingly, for Magic as well. So specifically for this matchup, like I said, Byzantines is very versatile, and he might go for that Spearman Jav comp. But the thing about JD versus French with his French is that you don't actually want to go too many spears into JD, even because it's just so much experience.
She's just so much experience you're feeding her. Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22 of like, if you really fight her in feudal, you're just fueling her up to be basically a Castle Age version of herself before Castle Age, which is never fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we should have just a couple seconds or minutes. I'm not quite sure how long we have before we dive into this one, but it should be any minute now. We'll be getting into this matchup. Starting off on Pigeon View. And looks like no water maps today. Everyone's banning all the water maps. So all land, which is fine. We're in the Rockies. Who needs water when you're up in the plains of the western side of the states?
I support that decision. I would also ban water maps. So
I probably would
looks
too.
like great minds think alike, right?
I don't mind Golden Heights. That's a pretty fun. That's a fun hybrid one. I like a good hybrid.
Yeah,
map.
Golden plays not full on water map, right? So it depends on. And the thing about water maps and some hybrid maps is that the pool of available civs drops down so much that it becomes a little more predictable as to what civ is going to go on what. But in terms of predictability, today has not been very predictable. So we're good on that end.
That is kind of the benefit of some more land maps. Yeah, like you said, like water maps have a couple of civs that are really good on water, and that's kind of easy to deduce what you have and what should go on there. But the land maps are a little more open. You can play anything on Dry Arabia and get away with it. It feels like.
Yeah, a lot of civs, definitely, because we have so many civs and more civs on the way, right?
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep getting more and more. Excited for that.
What's your which one has you the most hyped of the 4 variants introduced?
I can get some more Mongol action, right? So I definitely prefer the Golden Horde. Yeah. So the thing about variants is, even though they're so like different in terms of the original civ, they play out very differently because they have some similarities. Like House of Lancaster and English, even if you ban English, you can still
get that
go same style. Yeah.
Like a blessing and a curse, right?
Yeah, exactly. For the person banning it in tournaments, oh my god, he's still gonna have English if I ban House of Lancaster kind of situation. I have to ban China.
You get China and Zushi both being banned. I think it's kind of funny. They do have some very similar strengths. So, I think I'm the most hyped for. What was it? I don't know, the elephants. Just having the Tughlaq dynasty seems pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited about that.
Elephants everywhere.
Just elephants everywhere. You got villager elephants. You're gonna have raiding elephants. Love it. Love the idea of that. That's gonna be really fun. Hopefully I won't curse it as people play it against me, but I think that one's got to be pretty hyped right this minute. I mean, I like each of them. I've been really excited about. I went through all of them, and the Japanese one's pretty cool too.
Yeah, Japanese looks like it's even better for it. There's, you can choose a lot of. It's kind of like,
yeah, it reminds me of like Templar.
Get this
nice
wing.
Templar.
Yeah. And if you choose the cav option, it sounds really strong. So the Mountain Samurai is already pretty strong. You can even go stronger with some of those bonuses. So you can also go, the melee option. So a lot of different. It's just they just play so differently to their original Civ, so it adds on so much to the game. So excited for that. It's just a few months, right?
It'll be right after. It'll be right after November like 4th. Don't quote me on that. I think it's like November 4th is when that comes out. But which will be right after King of the Rockies. So we're stuck with the Civs we have right now. That'll have to be for King of the Rockies 2026. As we dive into game number 1 of our qualifying round, IamMagic in the blue as Byzantines facing off against Myriad in the pink as Jeanne d'Arc.
Yeah. Let's see. Some of the spawns, immediately you notice that the gold and the berries is on opposite sides. Now, gold is not in the golden stones is protected in the back for magic, but the berries, right, it's in the front, and so that's going to be a point of attack immediately for Myriad with the JD units, try to get some experience, try to get some veil kills. So that could be a point of contention there.
Yeah, all 3 of those berry patches around that TC are towards the front end or away. However, the golden stone in the back is kind of nice, and that wood line in the back there could be pretty easy to wall in, but it feels, it feels a little exposed on that hilltop.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I think Pigeon's View maybe has these deer spawns that are pretty advantageous for French and maybe a little more aggressive, just to have that, because both players have a back deer, right? And JD has double back there, so like you don't need to go for pro scouts in these situations. You can really quickly transition back on the deer, get that high value, high gather rate food to fuel your feudal aggro, right? And Byzantines is the one going to be on defensive. And like we said, if you go for the Jav and Spearman comp, then you're not going to be able to raid much anyways. And, the resources are in the back, it's pretty secure, and you can't raid. So you just kind of, in terms of tempo, you're at a disadvantage there.
Definitely going to be tricky here. I think Myriad's going to have. I think he's got the better Civ on this map for what he's got to do. Not that it can't be won by Magic with Byzantines. You just know you're going to be playing on the back foot for a bit. I mean, that said too, the berries aren't too far from the TC either, so you could just sneak the winery right there and maybe get some value. But that first berries you might be able to secure, but I'm thinking later, like the other 2 berry packs are just way out there. It's going to be so risky to take them.
Yeah. I mean, one thing you can go for a big, huge wall over there, I guess. But yeah, those are things that you have to do at the later stages of the game. Now, one thing I will say in terms of spawn, because Magic has a back gold, it's not going to be a similar situation where Lash had double front gold, so that when he's aging up or trying to age up, he's so vulnerable in that gold positioning, right? So Magic, especially against JD, most civs against JD, want to kind of protect yourself, not die to the feudal aggro, but also not stay in feudal so long as to give advantage to JD and give experience to him, right? So if Byzantine's able to play this well, protect the berries maybe, he's, get some mercs out and defend and also transition to castle without taking too much damage, then Magic is in a good position as Byzantines.
Cool cavalry going up with 3, I believe. We'll see Wheelbarrow probably click up as well. Unless you know pro scouts, I don't think Magic would. Like you said, there's not really a great reason to with both those deer packs behind you, but maybe he'll surprise us. Grand Winery coming up, right where we expected it to be.
In terms of Myriad, right, for JD pro scouts, you're saying?
Yeah. Magic can maybe go pro scouts. I don't know. Byzantines doesn't do it very often, but I guess he could if he wanted to as well. But I was thinking JD, usually a candidate to want to do that. But he'll be Wheelbarrow instead.
Yeah, I mean, Magic, even if normally Byzantine just doesn't go pro scouts.
Yeah, they're not really a pro
much value. And also, even if they went pro scouts, the opponent's deer is completely
it's all the way back there. So. Yeah, good luck. Like with knights in the field, yeah, that just seems like a fool's errand.
Yeah, I mean, he builds the Grand Winery a little towards the back, so as long as he gets the berries safely and he kind of builds up some mercs, then he's a little in a better position, right? Myriad has that first knight in queue. He's walking up towards the opponent's base with JD. He's probably going to age up pretty soon here.
I'm curious
And
what
he's
kind
gonna,
of. I'm curious what he'll pick. Does he go for the archer? Or does he go for the woman at arms? I feel like both are very effective. I think I lean towards the men at arms, or the woman at arms version of Joan of Arc, but I suppose the range one works okay too. I just think if your opponent goes jabs, it feels kind of bad.
Yeah. Magic or Cal's pointing out that maybe he's going for a tower rush. So there's one knight.
No, he hasn't upgraded her yet. That's fair.
Yeah, so it might just be build a tower and then upgrade her.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it'll be. Great heads up play here from Myriad. This is really smart because you're using the tower to finish up the age up experience that she needs. Love that play. Now, if you're Magic, what do you do here then? Do you like rush? You can't really stop it with the knight there, so you're just stuck letting this happen.
Yeah, you need like two spears at least in this situation, and ideally you want to upgrade it. So by the time the spears arrive, I don't think you're going to be able to stop that tower, which is really a problem for Magic, right? He's going to have no berries. Like you said, the other berries are so far out there that it's so vulnerable. Yeah, this is tough. This
is a tough spot to be in indeed. I hope he got a lot of sheep. I don't know how many sheep he gathered, but it better be a lot or he's going to be really starved for food here in a bit. He does have, let's see, that's 4 more going for Myriad right there as his scout runs by, just tantalizing him with it. And it's going to be men-at-arms, the woman-at-arms for Joan of Arc. And she's going to head off. Is she going to go kill the boar for XP? Is that what she's off to go do? Or is she going to go capture the tower?
Right?
Both, yeah.
Or he's going back?
Or maybe not.
I think Myriad is thinking he'd rather go try to make sure that he's not getting the other berries, maybe? But no, he's going back. I think it's just a misclick. He has that one knight in the back, so he can kind of try to catch some vills off guard.
This is like what I said about being like lonely on that hilltop. Just feels like you got vultures circling around you, just ever closer. And yeah, she will get back to the boar.
I think he can still kill the villain. No.
He needs to get out of there. Yeah, it doesn't have the charge available with that close of range. Good defense. This is an essential play for Magic right now to get these berries, secure some more food, and to secure the olive oil so you can get the schools going. Or not, sorry, get the mercenary house going.
Myriad's actually going for scouts. He's going for pro scouts.
Yes,
I think the idea is to try to get at least that deer pack that's on the south side of Magic space, and you know that Magic's not going to be on deer, right? So even though you have very secure deer, going pro scouts allows you to kind of have maximum efficiency and maybe try to steal off the deer from the opponent is what he's trying to do.
Another really heads up play then by Myriad, because at this point Magic is stabilized, right? Like, yeah, the berries are annoying. He'll be able to take that tower down later, but he's stabilized. He found an alternate food source. The other berries he built out that way, has the tower, has the Limitané, enough of them to deal with these knights as a threat. So now Magic feels a lot more comfortable than he did about 2 minutes ago. So going for Myriad, going for these deer, you know, like, great idea of let me just stay a step ahead. Let me stay ahead of the curve here. Let's take more resources on the map away from my opponent and then play for a bit of a longer game.
Yeah, that tower only had one unit garrisoned inside, so it was pretty dangerous in terms of if Magic kind of saw that, it could try to torch it down with 10 Limitané at this point, but the Limitané has to defend the berries, right?
Great micro there. Knight able to pick a spear off without dying itself. That was a nice little play by Myriad, especially in the stealth force. That could be kind of hard to click and do right. Gets away with one there.
Yeah, it's the classic juke and then point blank charge with the knight.
Yeah, that was a good move.
One of the reasons why it's a close one there. But now it's men at arms, right? Or woman at arms for JD. The scout is dead.
It's gonna make it harder for them to see through that forest. Obviously, the units don't have a great vision. Yeah, but if she gets on the spears, though she's not invulnerable either, so there's enough Limitané that it's tricky, but she could get a good blow on if she can get a good swing, if she can just get in there and hit just hard enough. But the problem is if she goes too deep, the Limitané just surround and then trap her, and if they body block her and she goes down, that's a lot of gold you don't want to give up.
Now, Magic's actually going to Horsemen. He has 4 Horsemen in the field. I'm actually curious just to see what mercenaries he's going to go for. He has just around 700 olive oil in the tank. He just has to kind of choose a contract. He might. What if he goes for Keshiks? That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be interesting if we went with the Horsemen with that. I mean, the Horsemen do a good job of countering the archers that Myriad's going to have. I feel like you usually go for the javelins, but I guess maybe Horsemen because
Could also just be longbows.
Could just be longbows too. That's fair. I mean, any 3 of those work, right? Like all of them are viable. Yeah. And it will be. Is that the Western contract? That's awesome. I believe.
Let's see.
So. I'm looking at the icon. They all look so similar. I can never quite tell. Silk Road. No, it's gonna be the Eastern contract. So it's going to be the javelins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think you can get rid of this tower because there's the fortifications. You just can't really deal with this, right?
Yeah, that was a good call too from Myriad to do that. You know, making it even more annoying than it was. I mean, many players, a lesser player would just let it sit there and just die eventually. Maybe try and keep it going, but investing some stone on top of that, and paying off here too, because now it's still there and still being annoying. Knights moving down south, looking for a hole. Looking for an angle that is walled off in the back, and there's some half walls throughout. They see the Horseman, so the Horseman's been spotted. That was some XP that didn't need to go to Myriad that did.
Yeah, Horseman spears. This comp is very XPable, as it were, right?
Yeah.
Another. Is this really gonna torch that? Probably torch that thing down, but the ring around. Oh no!
Oh, she gets a swing off, but backs off before she gets surrounded. Knights coming back down, being chased by Sultanate. Kind of a back and forth here. This just feels like a lot of XP you're giving up. Nice grab on some Knights, though. A couple more spears go down.
JD, right? Even though it might look like a decent trade, so many spears versus so many Knights, the constant XP average is the problem. But now there's Javs on the field, so a little better in terms of trades. You can kind of snipe out the archers so that your Sultanate are a little safer. But yeah, Myriad's just stealing the opponent's deer, and that's essentially what he was thinking about when going for pro scouts. Even though the deer are very close, he's going to get that efficient deer gather rate, and also steal the opponent's deer. 1 pack is still, I mean, getting 3 packs of deer is still pretty good.
That's such a good value. Oh, I would say even just getting your own deer is usually worth the money of investment. Getting one of your opponent's packs as well makes that pay for itself, like, very easily. We do have 5 cisterns, however, chalked up for Magic, so he's got a good bonus to his eco. He is up on those other berries, or trying to move out to those berries on the north side of his base. And there's a lot of posturing going back and forth there as he's moving out again, trying to get that tower up and secure the zone if he can.
Yeah, I mean, Magic's just trying to get berries from the 2nd and 3rd berries, and this is just very vulnerable position, and immediately Myriad's able to attack this, right, with his JD. And eyeing for those XP.
That little half wall could end up being disastrous here if Magic gets brought up on the corner. Not enough javelins really deal with this archer mass. The Sultanate are going to start dying. Even though they got the shield wall up, they're going to start taking damage from this. A couple Knights go down, though. That's a pretty good value. But again, the HP. But she goes down right before she ages up. She's just like a fraction of the way. He immediately pays for her back again. She is only, was that 43 away, 43 points away. That's just a handful of spears away from giving Castle Age Joan of Arc. More Knights getting trapped by Sultanate. Some good pickups here. Thankfully, he needs to take the fight while he can before she gets back, because the moment she gets on the field, she's going to click up, it feels like. Magic walking a tightrope here.
Just a few more units and he's already up. So, yeah, Magic did a good job in targeting JD with the tower so that the units can fight the units and the tower can actually get rid of JD. But, yeah, it's at this point still...
It's plus 12.
Almost
plus 12, so 24. And there it is. You got enough, and there it is.
There we go.
The spears now do bonus damage. She goes down immediately.
And now it's super expensive to get her back, so that is definitely something.
Yeah, the fact that she turned into a cavalry unit.
Yeah.
Well, now the towers are doing good fire onto the archers. So the Sultanate just need to clean up the Knights, and suddenly Magic, that was a big win for Magic, because Myriad cannot afford to bring her back yet.
And the one thing that's important here is that Magic has +1 attack, right? Range attack. Myriad doesn't have the range defense. So those towers with emplacements, arrow slits, are doing a lot of damage. Both for archers, obviously they melt, and also for knights. A lot of knights went down there.
Yeah, that ends up, I mean, Myriad walks away with, when he gets JD back, he'll have a level 3 JD, but it's been delayed because, I mean, the moment she popped up in the Castle Age, she became a net cavalry unit. Spears immediately adding the bonus damage and sniping her while they could. So now, like, they both kind of walk away feeling like they've traded pretty decently here. I think Magic, though, feels a little more comfortable now that he knows he's taken some good trades.
Absolutely.
And getting the olive groves up.
The thing is, he's going to get rid of that tower pretty easily eventually because he still has some spears. Now, it's kind of a hard situation because you have to dance around protecting your current berries and getting rid of that tower. But Magic has some farms down, and he's actually on his way to castle. He's just kind of raid a little bit to distract. The classic when you're aging up, you know, try to keep your opponent's attention away. And he's fine right now, right? JD is going to take a long time to come back. Yeah, I think
Magic he'll be in Castle Age. So yeah, Magic's done a great job of just kind of holding right now. Myriad trying to get the gold to go up to castle himself, kind of over macroed on food. Those scouts maybe doing a little too much there for him.
Yeah, and he gets the fortifications for both outposts out front. So did he buy her?
I think he did.
He buy her 5?
Oh, he bought her right out. At that point, you just wait another 30 seconds. It was so close. Or did he?
I don't know.
I'm not sure he did. I think he might have just been buying more knights. I don't know. It's 500 gold. He was at about 600, but he's floating food. It'd be a risky choice if he did, because you're so close to castling up at this point. Unless he thinks this window is right now.
Now Myriad has his upgrades in terms of +1 range defense, so it's going to take a little less damage, but the towers are not fortified, right? And like I said, all the way from the beginning of the game, the back gold is huge in these situations. Now imagine you had the front double gold.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, it'd be brutal.
Now like Myriad can get value from the attack, but now Magic is you know, aging up. He has some farms. He hasn't even gotten his bonus berries, right? Because of the tower, he's going to get rid of that tower.
So he's going to get those back eventually too. That will actually help him in the long run. That he's managed. Yeah, he's managed to do without, and now he'll get that bonus once his tower goes down. Like Hero Siphon comes out to burn the stone tower to the ground, because that makes a lot of sense. He doesn't even know there's berries on the sides. Look at the scouting, so tunnel visioned.
Yeah, there's I mean, I'm sure he knows there's some.
It's hard to go out there though when there's knights in the field. Yeah, it's hard to sneak away.
I mean, he's focused. It takes a lot of effort to try to defend, right? At this point, the main focus for him is just he has already gotten 2 berries out on the map. And at this point, going all the way on the edge of the map is probably dangerous anyways, and he's put down some farms. So he's more focused on getting rid of this tower and eating those berries out in front, which there's no problem, right?
Pretty good mass here. Right now, I mean, the villager, it's 56-55. Really, Magic has not lost really anything to Myriad's pushing and raiding. So he's really gotten into Castle Age relatively unscathed. At this point, Joan of Arc is level 3, but you're in Castle Age, so you kind of just expect that at this point. I'm still just amazed that he managed to do such a good job holding and defending as he has. And it feels like Myriad has just kind of over macroed a little bit. Is using that food up now and getting things back where it needs to be. Getting the knight upgrade.
Oh, this could. I was afraid that
bad, but those knights aren't upgraded just yet. And here comes Limite, who just got their upgrades, and that will turn them away. They want no part of that. Gold, however, will be an issue, so that's why he's moving out. Running out there, and he does want gold for this age.
Should be able to defend, no problem.
Knights now have been upgraded as well.
Yeah, I mean, he is getting some XP from that. I think the ram was kind of making it hard for Shuffle. That little
getting hard to ram, getting in there, body blocking. So Knights breaking away, trying to get on the top of the vills over by the gold. They're just kind of standing there. There they go. That's going to be one down. Heal from Joan of Arc, always so annoying when that happens against you. Such a good unit ability though. She's a little weak, has to pull back away from the spears. Doesn't have great vision of what's going on though. All he knows is that there's spears coming out of the forest. So Myriad playing this blind essentially, but really that is everything that's on the field. But the Mango Towers now activate and starts shooting, and just enough to repel this.
Well, the thing is, Myriad feels like he needs to do something, right? He knows that he's given the advantage by not really taking some bad fights. And Cal's pointing out that he needs an upgrade for his JD, because you need that upgrade so he's a little tankier, a little better. I think they did that little change.
Yeah. The number of archers, kind of a tri-comp here for Myriad. Mostly knights, but also some archers and some, obviously the champions there, 2 of them. But lots of javelin throwers and Limitané for Magic. I really like his comp here. Deals with it all very well. The only tricky thing is getting enough damage on top of those champions, which the jabs, if they focus fire, can do a pretty good job. Going for the relics, however, that monk is going to die a martyr. He does have 2, however.
He still hasn't used up the berries from his Grand Winery, so that's still an ace up his sleeve.
He's at the point where he almost doesn't need to. He's already, he's going on him now. I was like, he hasn't had to too much yet.
You can actually add in some, you get camels, right, as this castle age?
I believe so, yeah, with the Eastern contract.
Yeah, so he hasn't gotten the RNG camels, but...
Yeah, the camel riders. That would actually, getting 2 of those would be really good. You're right. With the knights, getting that damage reduction, that 20% damage reduction, that would be pretty good. You also could go for some desert raiders. That'd be pretty spicy. Or some Musafati. Or some camel archers.
Less so, I guess. But
yeah,
the camels are good because there's so many knights from Myriad's side, and both they counter knights, cav, and also do the aura, right?
Yeah.
The debuff.
Well, when you think about it, that 20%, that's like every 1 in 5 knights just doesn't exist, essentially, if you think of it like that.
Yeah.
You know, that damage reduction is so intense.
Yeah, and Magic instead is going for Cataracts, which is a good choice right now. It counters out the champions as well.
Yeah, the problem is there's not enough of them. That's a big raid onto the Vills, and they get a good surround there. A couple are going to go down. Mangan L Towers are going to fire, but not be enough. But the Knights have done their job backing up, trying to take care of the military mass that's around JD. Guildhall is picking up. Yep. A couple of good raids. The spears. Ooh, onto the board. What a heads up play there by Magic, knowing that Myriad has probably moved out on other food sources.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage also, you got to consider that Magic has farms, right? He has those berries that's going to boost the olive oil income, and he already has some farm transition. Myriad, on the other hand, he doesn't really have that farm transition. Now, he does have Guildhall.
Yeah, he wants to push that
out front.
He wants to put that farm transition out as late as he possibly can. Yeah. More champions now, yeah, pretty good number there. That's and there's not a great counter to that. Again, Magic does have 2 camels now, 2 more on the way. Some good heal coming in from JD. Pretty tough fight up front. Javelin's trying to pick off the archers from behind, but the champions just tanking up front. Javelin's trying to hit through. Cataphracts charge in, take down the monk before he can get a Wololo off or anything else.
What's in the ram? Is there like
I don't know. There's something. Maybe some random.
That'd be cool.
We got a. We don't get to see. There's someone in the ram who's just hanging out. He's driving it. He's like the guy who drives the float at Disneyland. You know, he just sits in there and driving 5 miles an hour. Big fight. Knights get turned away. Knights get turned away, and the Limitané with the camel debuff that's in there. The camel riders and cataphracts, a really good combo here with the Limitané behind it. Another monk goes down. Make that 2 martyrs now. 3 martyrs in the field total.
Yeah, now Magic is using that extra income from the berries, the Grand Winery Landmark, to pump a lot of camels, right? He has 8 on the field already. Now, Myriad does have the Guildhall, so he can kind of use that eventually if he needs to, but you don't want to use that just to kind of
survive,
get a little food, right?
You want to get ahead.
As an upgrade or age up, yeah.
And those camels are just turning those knights away. The camel on E is doing such good work here. Another monk goes down. Man, Magic in a really commanding spot right here with a military lead.
All of the production from Myriad's forward, so if Magic can kind of pounce and to hold this position, it'd be really problematic for Myriad.
That's tricky. There's a lot of choke points here, so an option for Myriad to maybe make something work with the defender's advantage. But yeah, kind of sitting on that production, making things difficult. He does have a lot of weak units, however.
He has that 1 ram that he can use to kind of try to get rid of some of these buildings. Now, remember, some of these buildings are consecrated, right? So they have the cheaper units, and you can't really get those back right away when you destroy these buildings.
this point. Myriad trying to live to keep going here, losing that first barracks that had the inspiration on it. What is it called? Sanctification? What is that, Billy Clive?
Is it consecration?
Consecration. There we go. I was close. It's got a little fleur-de-lis on it. Kirosif and then now it's going to start torching the other barracks. The knights are so ineffective here. They cannot fight the blob because there's just camels and Limousinets chasing after them. They are rendered completely useless as all that Myriad can do is try to plop down men-at-arms, and here comes the keep drop right in the face saying, hey, this base, all your base belong to us. It is mine. And there's just nothing to do. Archer's trying to get on top of it.
You recognize that all of the production is out front, so either you destroy it, or second thing is you have a keep, and now everything that's coming out gets, you know.
Oh, JD's on the back though. JD's on the back. She's gonna get a range to hit. She's gonna just. She doesn't have any. Oh no! It would have been brutal if she did.
I think JD
doesn't have it
before he gets it.
Used all of them up, out of mana as it were. She must run away, and that keep will go up. And this is probably game. I mean, how do you recover from a keep drop on your face? There she goes, and that's GG called. As Joan of Arc falls, so does the civilization of France. Match complete. Game 1 goes to IamMagic.
Yeah, Magic was in a tough position initially with that towered berries and forward berries, but he was able to secure both the outer berries and the forward berries in 2 towers out front with arrow slits with +1 range damage. He was able to hold, right? He was also really good at sniping out JD and sniping out JD right before.
Oh, the perfect moments. Man, yeah, if he hadn't have gotten her right before she aged up, that would have been huge. And then getting her right as she did age up too.
I think that what happened there was Myriad was trying to get those units, right? The champions, so that when you actually spawn those units, you have that animation, so the JD kind of stays in place a little bit. And that split second is when the spears kind of pounced and killed her. So that was huge, right? It's 500 to get her back, and you have to wait all that time. And that's the crucial time in the game where Magic's aging up.
Yeah, I mean, those spears, it's so unfortunate that she was so tanky against those spears until she hops on a horse. And then the bonus damage clicks in, and it's like, oh, the timing and the interaction of that was just so unfortunate there for Myriad. What a hold by Magic there. A lot of pressure. Like we said, kind of a lonely hilltop to start out on, but eventually able to kind of work around what he was given and manage. And even though Myriad had pro scouts and was out on the board and had that pesky tower for the longest time, Magic just showing why Byzantines is such a good versatile civ and why it can be such a fun match to play.
Yeah. And in the Castle Age with the camels, right, with different options, cataphracts and camels, is just so strong to kind of take on the advantage and push it even more. And at that point, JD, without any economic advantages, and it's only eco advantages you have is kind of the consecration from the buildings. Meanwhile, Magic has been on 5 cisterns the whole time, right? Eco bonus.
Here's that moment again that you're talking about. She's right there. She ages up. You can see the animation. She's getting those guys in. They pop right there, but the spears catch her first. And there's the 3 champions. So she gives her life to the 3 champions, but that was not the worthwhile trade.
Yeah, so that, and I don't even think you can cancel that animation after it started. So I think Myriad probably was like, oh no, I did the animation I wanted. Because you probably want to pull back those and then go for it. And then you can kind of keep attacking. But yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, tough break there. Well played by Magic too, though. I mean, you had to be pretty heads up to catch her as well. Just really good use of his map as well, knowing when to move out, knowing how to secure those crucial points, knowing when to back off. And just some really brutal fights right here too, and not having vision, really making it tough for Myriad to know how much he can keep fighting. Meanwhile, Magic was able just to see all and know what he had.
Yeah, I mean, Myriad was attacking there because he kind of felt like he had to, right? He knew that he was a little behind, so he wanted to push the advantage, try to win the fight, even though he doesn't have great vision. Now, like you said, Magic did a really good job when those towers were up. Immediately target the towers to JD, right? That's what he was doing. So the units don't overkill or kind of focus on JD, get out of position, because that's always often what happens with JD player opponents. They kind of focus on JD, and then their archers all of a sudden in the front try and target JD, and then they lose all those units, right? But Magic was good in terms of targeting those JD with his towers, upgraded towers.
Yeah, Coming up next, though, we've got the newest 2 additions to the game currently, and they'll be replaced with newer additions even later. Not replaced, but they'll move down the list a little bit. But the new ones, the new DLC civs get to duke it out against each other. That's right. This year's Knights Templar versus House Lancaster, the new kids in the block, for a moment anyways, on, what is that map again? This is that Frisian Marshes? EGC Frisian Marshes? What are we calling that? Looks like it.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay. So that'll be coming up. It looks like it will be... Oh, I forget who was who on our draft screen.
Let's remember.
Say that again, Cal, in my ear. What was that? Myriad is left. Okay, so Myriad has House Lancaster, and Magic would have Knights Templar coming up. I think on that matchup, I think I like Templar a little bit better on Frisian Marshes. Because Lancaster, there's so much food, like building manors just feels kind of like you got so much food out there already.
Well, the thing is, on Frisian Marshes, there's a lot of sheep. So one thing is that, as you know, House of Lancaster has that bonus gather rate on sheep. So that initially is also really nice. Obviously, manors are still pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, depends on how Magic plays Templars, right? There's so many different options. I don't know if he's going to go Sergeants. I wouldn't bet on that for this game.
I don't think if we see Sergeants and Genitors again, I'd be quite surprised. Don't think that's going to happen this time around. Maybe I'll eat my hat later. But
what he goes for is probably in between Hospitaller age up, right, for the increased movement speed for his villagers instead, so a little eco bonus there, or going for the Knights, the Chevalier. Knights.
Yeah.
Excuse my
the Chevys. The Chevys.
The Chevys. Thank you. This is American land, so we gotta
Chevrolet Confrere or whatever they're called. Yeah. I am a red-blooded American. I do not know how to speak French at all. I apologize for that fact.
Exactly.
That's how it is. I speak more than one language, but that other language is not French, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, so I mean, Magic could go for Cav and try to get some map control that way, but we'll see how it turns out. In terms of the sacred sites, it's kind of towards the middle, right? So it's not too bad of a situation. Try to get map control and try to get that passive gold income.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of food right out on the map as well. So there's a lot of sheep and a lot of food in the way of fish. And what Templar can actually do on this map is put on docks, right? So you can get that initial boost in eco in terms of great gather rate on food, extra food eco, and then use that as an advantage to try to push the issue, do some be a little aggro, try to do some damage.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We got about a minute before that one starts. Really fun game number 1. That was exactly the kind of matchup I was hoping to see out of JD and Byzantines, and I'm excited to see what we get here in just 59 seconds. Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like House Lancaster has kind of a defined meta, whereas Knight Templars do as well, but they are just so much more versatile in what they can do. We saw that earlier with the Genitors of all things and other things. Like we kind of saw like just what can Knights Templar be, because when you've got that many options to play and all these different permutations you can work with, whereas Lancaster feels not figured out per se, but I'll say it, figure it out a little bit more, right?
Well, a little more established, right? There's 2 landmarks that you can go 2 different play styles, more or less. And we do immediately see a barracks coming down from Myriad. So a little Dark Age action. I don't... is it maybe a Tower Rush?
I was wondering if there's some Dark Age action. I know that Lancaster can do this. That was one of the things in the back of my mind was I wonder if we were going to see something like it. Immediately Magic onto the gold as he should be. So... yeah, we're in game number 2. Magic, you're looking at right now as the blue Knights Templar, who has 1 game up over Myriad, who's in the northwest corner, as red with House Lancaster going for a Dark Age Rush. Spearman in the queue. Guessing that's going to be heading straight south.
Yeah, on that gold. So the gold on this map, right? Double gold up front, more or less, and the stone as well, but... for Knights Templar, if they can just get enough gold to age up, and they can age up pretty quickly passively without villagers on there, right? So if there is a tower on that gold, one thing that it might do is kind of deny pilgrims from going to sites. If he just angles it, maybe, I don't know, but I just maybe just trying to get him off of gold. But the thing is, Knights Templar just doesn't really need that much gold in the beginning, is my worry.
There's not a whole lot else to deny up there besides the stone and more gold. Maybe you could wrap around but they don't really need the berries either. There's so much food on this map, so many sheep to be gathered. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I've been surprised before today.
Could be the situation where Myriad maybe anticipated a dog play in Dark Age, so they maybe want to punish that more so. But yeah, Magic's just going straight normal Dark Age, trying to age up as fast as possible. Yeah.
Looks like Magic's got a pretty good sheep haul so far on that scout, as they both kind of have a foot race going on right now.
Yeah, a lot of times as you do a Dark Age barracks, you have to scout your opponent, right? So your opponent's a little more often optimized in terms of sheep scouting, so they get a lot more sheep. Happens in these Dark Age plays. Myriad's only doing 2 spears, so maybe that could be a situation where Myriad was anticipating, oh, he's going Kingdom of France, so Cav play from Magic.
A little more standard, I would say, as opposed to the sergeants we got to see earlier. Like Kingdom of France is a pretty typical choice in Feudal Age for Knights Templar.
Yeah, we'll see if Myriad goes for classic castle, just to kind of protect his resources and try to boom manor normally, because he has a great spot for it, right? That
right there would be really good.
Like 2 choices, out front or even up top on the double stone as well. But yeah, both is great
I think I'd
options
go for the
for
double
him.
Gold. I think looking at it, because he's going to put it right next to the 1 gold. Okay, he's going to take your idea. The 3 stone is pretty tempting. That's fair. That's fair. It's a lot of resources right
both
there.
Works.
Both would have worked.
I think I think what happened is that he's trying to prevent a dog play, because right now it doesn't really make sense for him just to deny gold.
That's true.
Magic is trying to repair that mining camp. I guess the only 2 spears, he's gonna have archers. So
honestly, I mean, I wonder how long you'd have to do this to get value out of it, because you're using wood to repair it and the idle time of the villager, but you also put all that resources and stuff into 2 spears. I'm sure there's a line where that becomes very worth, but feels marginal.
I mean,
however, they could be used as well for the first pilgrim that's right there.
That's what I was gonna say. Magic would much prefer Myriad to torch that or mining camp as opposed to chase after that pilgrim, right? So you're just gonna get that pilgrim, and Myriad's not even halfway, almost halfway in age up. So Magic's feeling good about this, I think.
Archer is going to shoo away those 2 spears, and they're going to walk by and probably not find that pilgrim at all. They're just going to walk into the marshes and try and hide. Meanwhile, Myriad almost up to age 2. Archer just find him.
Yeah, those spears are kind of hovering around the pawns. I think Myriad was just kind of focusing on trying to deny those pawns, and then going behind that, going to classic standard manor boom, right? I think that was the idea. But right now, Magic is going to get that pilgrim. He's going to get that gold. They already get that first round. He's going to get that second round as well. And we'll see what Magic goes with. Is he going to go field aggro? Is he going to maybe add a second TC later on or something, or just fast castle? But it's pretty clear what Myriad's going to do. He's just going to try to set up this manor boom.
The thing is, I don't think it's really going to. I don't think Magic's going to have a dock denied. He has the option right now to build it if he so desired. He had a villager up on it. I think he was thinking about doing it, unless he did end up actually building one or not. Not hard to tell. I see little blue dots on that little pond. I do see the scout of Magic going around the stone. He sees what's going on, so he'll know exactly where all of Myriad's stuff is at and what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely at this point it's completely safe for Magic to expand out, right? Yeah, and we do see the first dock there.
Yeah. So it really didn't even deny it. It just denied it it just delayed it more than anything else. And the pilgrims are still going unabated. Are just taking the sheep. How dare they?
No.
Oh, that's just rude.
Socrates, look away.
Okay.
Socrates.
Tell me it lived. Tell me it lived.
I think that one lived actually. So
it lived. Oh, good. Oh, good. I couldn't bear to watch.
Yeah, the thing is, Magic didn't go for the initial Dark Age deck. So if he did, however, then Myriad spears, then he would make more than 2 spears and kill that dog. So then Magic would be behind, right? But Magic, kind of methodical, went for the standard play, and only when it's safe went for the docks, right? So real heads up play by Magic.
These spears might intercept this pilgrim right here as it's walking up. They're kind of around that sacred site where it's headed right now.
I think those spears are too close to Sacred Site for them to
Oh,
be able
that's
to kill
true.
the
They might not
pilgrim.
have enough damage. That I didn't think of that.
Yeah, so he'll get the gold regardless, especially the spears. It's not even like knights or anything. So,
Yeah.
those pilgrims zoom when they hear some danger. So,
Oh, that's true. That's true.
yeah.
Game slows
So,
down a little bit here now as both players just kind of building up in feudal. Another pilgrim on the way. It is an archery range for Magic, of course. He already has a couple in the field. He hasn't done anything with it yet. We do, however, have the first Chevys being produced. Chevrolet Confrere. How's that? I just kind of
that was
blended
great.
my
That was great.
just
I'm
kind of
not gonna
blend my
attempt to-
consonants together and try. I hope no one's actually French in the chat listening because I do not speak French.
I attempted it once. I don't want too many.
Don't want any hate
clips.
mail for how bad I am. Yeah. I get you. I usually do pretty good with some of the pronunciation in this game, but some of those things, when you start mashing too many vowels together or too many consonants together, it gets a little tough.
Yeah. So Magic. Myriad's having a good time building up that manors boon. I think there's only one dock. Maybe Magic. I don't know if he expanded into more docks, but I
Looks
think
like he might
the
have a
idea for
second one
Magic
right
is-
there. Right on
Yeah,
the-
so-
he's got one, maybe two there.
Yeah, like we said, the Magic's just gonna expand those docks, get that initial food boost, right, and then use those for kind of a fuel aggro type situation. Now, Myriad's not producing right now much, obviously, trying to get that manor boom going ahead. The problem with this is, in this situation, Magic has to do damage, right? Magic has to use that initial food boost to kind of make something happen. Because the longer the game goes, right, the manors continue to give resources, and then the shoreline fish run out.
Yeah, it's that or Magic needs to make like a 2 town center play, which he's not doing and not going to do, and probably isn't even the right answer anyways. So I agree. He needs to get something done, and it feels like the game is going a little slow, which, like you said, only benefits House Lancaster. Like the longer the game goes, the more resources. Granted, Magic does have the pilgrims helping out, so that's good, and he does have the food coming in. Maybe there's a world where he can go to castle pretty quickly and then do some damage before Myriad's ready.
Now, something I always forget is that Myriad, as House of Lancaster, can produce those, what are they called? Demolancers?
Demolancers are out, yeah.
And they are always so annoying because you're not going to have spears normally. But I always forget when I play against House of Lancaster, and then I lose like 3 bells at least. So I don't know if Magic's anticipating this. Now, the thing is, I think Myriad's sending them to docks to try to burn them down. The thing about Demolancers, they're not very strong, so 3 or 4 Chevys are more than enough to kind of protect those docks. So let's see. But this Chevy is having trouble.
Yeah, these Chevys are going to be put out to levy here in a second as one goes down, and he's only got a couple more. Meanwhile, the Demolancers are finally making their showing. White Tower being dropped behind this. This is where Lancaster just gets such a good boost of tempo, and now he's going to go straight to the docks, like you mentioned, and they will be more than enough to deal with that.
It's an interesting positioning for the White Tower. It's protecting the relic and some food resources, I think, right? Up top.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
Yeah,
kind of holding up that north side. I mean, there's a lot of resources over there.
And normally you want to kind of secure gold, but I guess his gold is pretty secure right now, and his second gold is pretty close. So he's just opting to go for that kind of expansion. Because he also protects indirectly that deer pack and berries and stuff like that in the back, right? So protecting some food.
Demolancers punishing the 4th boat on both pawns. You can only store 3, of course, in the dock,
It's
so they're
just so
punishing
annoying.
that. Just annoying. Yeah. Not even actually torching the dock, just kind of burning the one and going on.
Yeah.
And that just shows you how good the eco for Lancaster is, that they don't care about denying it all the way. Just being annoying, just getting a little chip damage, if you will. Because behind this, there's another one down right there. Yeah, again, just taking 1 on each pond. It's kind of being a menace, really. But they don't need. They're already ahead essentially, so they don't need a whole lot more. Even though Magic now, I'm guessing, has benefited quite a bit from these fishing boats. Otherwise, economy count might look like a little bit skewed because of the fishing, but it's otherwise pretty even, if not ahead for Myriad because of all the manors he has. He does have 6 of 6 right now. Could pop that up to 9 if he so desired later on.
Yeah, I mean, Myriad's definitely feeling good about the position that he's in, especially with that opening, because he opened barracks and he couldn't really get any value out of that. So he wasn't really punished for that. And he's able to kind of get some of these. Yeah, so he's probably, if you don't realize, you immediately lose a fishing
Yeah, it's just
tip. And it's
gone.
so annoying. And you have to go into spears. You don't really want to go into spears. Myriad's in turn going to knights and men at arms, right? Is it Earl guards?
Earl guards, it looks like. Yep.
Yeah.
Republic of
So it's just
Genoa
kind of,
coming up now, though, for Magic. He is clicking up into the next age. Pilgrim's getting sniped. Earl guards doing some damage
this
there.
is a tough position he's going to have to defend. He does have plenty of gold, though, so he doesn't have to stay here. The problem is he's not going to get the pilgrim gold, so you still need more gold as you're aging up the castle, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have enough. Not just a couple shy of 500. Doesn't feel like enough to get all your upgrades and start producing units. And just getting kind of rated here. Archer's kind of caught out. He's got some spears he's trying to get onto the knights, but boy, Myriad just kind of wreaking havoc everywhere right now.
Yeah. I mean, the tempo advantage that Myriad has by going up castle first and being able to push the advantage with premium castle units, right? It's just so much advantage. And behind that, his eco is still good. So this is kind of and let's remember, this eco advantage that Magic has is temporary, although there's still a good amount of time, that you can use it. But you're just kind of on
the fishing
right
dries
now.
up. Well, and once the fishing dries up, like, you're using the boats to keep up with Myriad. The problem is Myriad's manners are not temporary, and they will continue to produce for the remainder of the game or until they're torched. And he's got 6 of them. He's already up a pretty good amount. We got a big fight here. Spear's doing a lot of work, but the knights have them all on a choke point. So kind of a tough back and forth. Pretty okay for
Magic, I think.
Magic, yeah. Choke point helping out a lot.
A little too many men at arms is a problem.
Yeah, that's the problem, is now the Earl guards are getting in there. Now that the knights have been cleared out, Earl guards have free reign to get through those little narrow spots. And now just kind of shredding through the spears and what's left.
So the other thing is that Magic doesn't have blacksmith upgrades, and Myriad at least has a +1, and they're already men at arms, right? So they already have some base armor. So that also helps.
Yeah, Town Center Fire really not doing a whole lot to them. Lets them kind of have open season in the base. Spears popping out. Crossbow is just not enough of a mass to deal with all this. Villagers forced to flee. At this point, Magic and really on the back foot here. Idling 12, idling a lot more now. Trying to find a place to put them to safety, but they can't all fit in the town center. Forced to head to their hometown center instead. Or that is their hometown center, excuse me. I was thinking it was another town center for a second. So they're just going to do the little chicken dance and die as they get picked off one by one. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. That's knights on their tail. This has to be game.
Yeah, I mean, Magic is definitely a really, really hard spot. He is trying to... Yeah, I mean, this is no way
game.
back, I think. He knows it.
When you lose all those, nowhere to put them. And that is a tied series on our hands now as Myriad comes back and says, hey, you got the better of me last time, but I can still in this. We got ourselves a series at 15 minutes flat. Game number 2 goes to Myriad, and we have 1-1. Boy, what a back and forth this has been. I mean, you can kind of see right there where things really kind of went off the rails around the 7-minute mark with the Hobblars. Or not, sorry, not the Hobblars. Excuse me, the Demolancer button getting pushed. Once those came out, that was the win condition.
Yeah, I mean, the Demolancers provide so much value in terms of not having to actively produce units and just, be on your way to castle, but also slow down the opponent, right? So it's just so annoying because you don't have spears. You rarely have spears out on the field because you're just kind of doing your own thing. And Magic was trying to expand docks. And losing fishing ships left and right every single pond is just so annoying. And it just slows down your castle timing, and you can't really defend from there on. So this is kind of more of a strength of House of Lancaster. Myriad was able to use very effectively. And even though he didn't have the best Dark Age with the Brax opening, he was able to kind of just focus on House of Lancaster things, build up the manners, and go from there.
Yeah, it really is kind of amazing how you just have to respect the fact that at any given point late enough in the game, Lancaster could just hit the button and get a bunch of Demolancers. And that's just going to happen. And it's going to be very quick, and they're all going to come out at once, and then you just got to deal with it. And so having to have that respect for that coming out, and you don't get to know, you don't have an idea or an inkling of when that's coming, because there's no production building outside of the landmark. So that can be really tough to read when that happens, and that's why that tempo is such a powerful swing.
All right. Well, coming up next, I think it's French and Malians, and this is, if I'm not mistaken, is that Prairie?
That is
I
Prairie.
think it looks like Prairie.
Yeah.
So two very strong Prairie civs, but in terms of matchups, Mali versus French. So if Myriad's able to, he's feeling good. I think about this matchup. Mali's very good into French. Maybe Prairie does change a few things, but that big initial gold is going to be really, really valuable for Myriad.
Yeah, I agree. It's such an open map. It should be a lot of fun. I for one, really enjoy the double of the amount of sheep that you can find on it. And Prairie looks a lot like what Prairie is like the map I would choose if I had to pick a map in the game that looked most like the airport in Denver. Because that's what it looks like. Genuinely though, that's kind of where it's at. The airport, for anyone who doesn't know, who's interested in going to the event live, can do exclamation point tickets and fly into Denver if you want to come join us out for the LAN. It looks like Prairie, but then you drive to the mountains and it looks more like a Front Range or Rockies at the map. But yeah, very plainsy, very much the case. Just nice, flat, super windy. Sometimes the landings in there can be a little bit rocky if there's a thunderstorm in the nearby. But
yeah,
and if anyone wants to, go ahead.
In terms of matchups or what they could have picked for this map, Myriad had a lot of options, right? Essentially, all of these civs kind of work to some degree. You have Mongols, you have Malians, you have HRE, and Japanese to a lesser extent, but you can still play it on Prairie.
Mm-hmm.
And Magic only really had French as a obvious pick for Prairie. So I think Myriad was anticipating French and also just kind of counterpicked, because Malian is the ultimate counter, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's not Mali, then Ayyubids would be the other one that would be really good into French, and that's not an option. So Mali, I mean, of what Myriad has, yeah, Malians for sure into French. It's going to be definitely preferable for Myriad here. Magic on the back foot with this one, but anything can happen. It's French, it's Prairie. You'll have food at least. It's going to be totally dependent though on Magic finding some kind of way to get enough damage done to slow Myriad down. But that's a tall order against Malians. Well, we got a minute or so before we jump in. Yeah, you got a myriad of options. Yep. And
then
there we go.
Let's see. What can we do for Magic? He's probably gonna. I mean, we're expecting Magic to do something magical, right? So we're still putting some trust in him, and so there's no problem. In terms of, on a serious note, French Knights on Prairie, especially with the wood availability, they can still make things happen, right? So if they get caught in terms of some villages, it's really easy to lose villagers against French on Prairie. So even though it's on paper a good counter to French, it's still not like a done deal type situation.
Yeah, no, none of these are even the best of matchups in this game. Like, I think even at the top level, like the best of matchups, usually it's like 60% win rate. If it's ever super skewed, you can always lose any given game. Like, anyone can drop any given game. Any weird circumstance or strange spawn can happen. And sometimes you can just, get a bad Wolo off, and then suddenly you just swing the game. You never know. We've seen it done before. But before we hop in, we do want to encourage everyone who can to donate. I know I've been mentioning it a lot for anyone who's been watching the entire stream, but it really doesn't matter. We see we've gone up to 2,900 down there, 28% of the goal. Hefty goal, but trying to get there where we can. Everything that you donate helps fund the event, help fund the tournament, helps this thing go. It takes a lot of people to make this thing happen. Everything from the players to the casters to the guys behind the casters, all like Cow, all the production guys, everyone who manages this, everyone who donates, everyone who does all the setup, Draxos for doing all this stuff, even down to like making the handbook and doing the edits for the handbook and getting the rule set figured out. There's so much that goes behind this. So if you guys can support in any way, shape, or form, it's always most welcome, and it'll help us essentially do more of this for you guys. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Sarkton said, these are all of us are kind of here because we love the game. We're kind of community organized. We want to do these events for you. Obviously, compared to what Draxos and Cow and all of the other people behind the scenes have been doing, it's nothing. But yeah, definitely community organized, and as much support we can get, the more these events can expand, the more events we can do, and yeah, definitely appreciate it. But we have maybe a minute and 30 until we get into the next game.
Yes, indeed. One of these guys is going to get to have their seat at the table to try and vie to become the king of the Rockies. But first, they got to get to that table, right? And it comes right here, right now, each with a game apiece. We've got at least 2 more games coming up. This one and at least 1 more, depending on how things go. This one also could just go the distance as well. I'm like definitely like gearing up and buckling up for potentially a long series. We've seen both these players look really good already today.
Yeah, I mean, the last game, I think Magic was just kind of not sure as to how to go about it, because his docks were delayed and House of Lancaster tempo and castle was just too much. And because, like we said, the Demi Lancer kind of tempo attack was kind of throws everybody off guard, right? So but if we have seen anything from the first game, Magic is solid. I think he's going to be able to defend no problem, but this game I think he's going to be able to, or he's going to try to attack more, try to catch off guard some Myriad bills potentially, and go from there. Well, I think on this map you could also still go for pro scouts to get that straggler deer away.
Would you need to with how much sheep you have though?
No, you don't need to, but it could be like an extra, because I've seen that happen. I'm not sure exactly. I haven't played French and Prairie in a long time, but a lot of options. Yeah, forward gold for Myriad though. That's one thing. Although it's still a lot of gold. The berries are gonna kind of prevent some of those houses initially. So that's kind of
that's an unfortunate
ideal
spawn right there. Thankfully, it is a larger gold vein, so there is more room around it technically. But yeah, berries getting in there just a little bit. Yeah, so here we are, game number 3 of the qualifying round. This is the last spot open that I'm aware of for King of the Rockies. One of these guys trying to get there. Magic as orange playing in the French down in the southeast corner. And up here where we're looking at right now, Myriad in red in the northwest as the Malians. The first house is coming up right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. That used to be the max people would do. 4 used to be considered standard. I keep saying it because I'm always just so amazed how much the meta can shift. And nowadays, like adding the full 6 or 7 is just the typical thing to do.
Well, actually, on this map, even from the early days, Malian usually just kind of adds all of the houses sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, it's so
I don't
close
know if he
too,
still has. Yeah, I don't think he has enough wood. But regardless, those berries are going to be a little annoying to fill the full houses. But yeah, normally you just want to, because there's so much space, right? That's the power of the larger pit mine. The more houses you add, the more passive income you get. So essentially, the Malians just wants to add those houses ASAP, get that full pit mine going.
Exactly. So far, standard stuff here from the French. Both players have only gone for 1 scout. Oftentimes, you'll see some players on certain civs on this map go for 2 and try to get the double up on the sheep. But both players opting just to go for the single at the time being.
I'll probably expect more for French to do that if they're going to do it. But yeah, this is the rare maps that losing out on a villager might be worth it to get that second scout, because there's just so much sheep on this map, right?
Many. So, well, and if you imagine if you went 2 scouts and your opponent only went 1 and you gather them all. Now, for Malians, the end goal is to cow boom, so I guess maybe they don't care that much. But you got to consider too, what if I could take away sheep from my opponent? Like, at what point does that become worth? But both players opting to go for the single, so all's fair, I suppose. And School Cavalry gets dropped down, much to the surprise of nobody from Magic. I mean, I wonder, like, you gotta like wonder. There's some people I'm sure tried doing the Chamber of Commerce and try to do something like that, but you can't keep up with the cows. Looks like it was Emancipatory dropped down. He's gonna move it over. He's looking where he wants to put it. 3rd time's a charm.
He wants that perfect spot. Yeah, I mean, the Chamber of Commerce for this, I mean, you actually could try.
It kind of works. There are, they're in the corner.
And if you, as Myriad, don't do anything about it, then it's going to build up. So Myriad would actually have to do some aggression if there was Chamber of Commerce, but it's just such an open map, and trade is just, you're just going to get sofa essentially.
Yeah, exactly. The sofas will just come and get it.
Yeah, on this map, wood lines are always a point of contention, right? A point of trying to secure more wood lines, especially the first wood line goes away, and then the second and third is more exposed. And so a lot of cav civs on this map. Myriad's going to be sofas eventually after the cow boom. For Magic, obviously, a lot of French knights, but that's what you're typically trying to target.
Exactly. We see a lot of villagers on wood right now. That is the scarce thing to do here, is to get on the wood. That is kind of like, I'm like trying to think of, like, as far as like points of attack for Magic here. Like, the gold seems nice. If you can get on and just torch some of those houses on the far side, like, that is possible. Doesn't seem to. It's not like a win condition. The game is paused. Well, at this point, we interrupt this message for breaking news. You should donate if you can to the Matcherino! Exclamation point, donate. You can also buy tickets at exclamation point tickets. You also can buy merchandise. You also can, yeah, there you go. I think that's all my shout outs.
You have the perfect voice for that, by the way. You can have those like end of the commercial, like don't try this at home, and if you take too much, you might die kind of situation.
Do not take Zinthos if you're pregnant, because you can be pregnant or ever have like run a mile. Zinthos may cause coughing, sneezing, bleeding out of your eyes. Ask your doctor about. They actually can. You can actually speed it up a little bit too. Then that is how they do it. I know how to do that. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
We're waiting to hear back if there's any kind of reason for the pause here. We're not sure what's going on.
Hopefully, it's nothing serious in terms of like game mechanic, or we just don't want to redo, right?
Yeah, maybe one of the players just really, really, really had to take a quick bathroom break. We're not sure.
All right, let's see here. But just in general, everything so far has been pretty standard, as expected, right? And I think we do see pro scouts from French, right? Now we can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, there is pro scouts coming in for French. They went one scout. This is the other thing. Like, if you're gonna go pro scouts, why not build 2 scouts to start off then? But maybe that was the plan. Is they'll just add more scouts later, get the straggling sheep, get the deer. And there's so much food on this map, actually.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a choice, and you can justify both. Essentially, you go for the scout, you are losing out on a villager, right? And you're losing out on a villager all the way from the beginning of the game, so it's not nothing. And yeah, you can justify it to try to get more sheep, but there are situations where you don't get that much sheep to justify the second scout, right? That's kind of a risk you're taking. And Magic is just kind of thinking probably he's just going to go for a standard 1 scout. He's going to go for pro scouts eventually, and he has the school of cavalry to make as many scouts as he wants, right? So I think that was just kind of personal preference, personal choice.
I haven't heard anything about the game pause. I'm still curious to see what's going on with this. Wait, say that again? Okay. Some behind the scenes issues from some players. We should be starting again in just a second here, so probably maybe someone came at the door or something. Who knows? At any rate, we're still here. We're still live, and we're still excited to see the conclusion of this one. It is, again, tied 1-1. The winner of this one does move on to the King of the Rockies, the actual main event.
The last one, the King of the Rockies. So this is for all the marbles.
For all the marbles, for the bag to hold the marbles that you want to win at King of the Rockies.
Exactly. So a pretty clean build from Magic. Immediately he ages up and he gets that pro scouts queued. He's got scouts and queue, all looking good. Myriad's also basically aged up, and so with 4 gold now. The thing about Malians in this map is the second gold is sometimes a little farther out there and it's exposed, and a lot of times the gold, like for example in this situation, gold is right next to the wood line, right? The second wood line that you want to move to. So. And this map with French Knights, a lot of times it's obvious where you want to attack from the French player, so you cannot want to defend that. Now, Malians has Donzos, so it's a good counter, but you always have to scout and be careful as to what's going on the opponent's side.
Yeah, and that gold is not too far away there in the southern part of the base for Myriad. Not too far. He's got one down there. Look at all those sheep. Ooh, juicy. How many is that right there? How many is that? That's 1, 2,
almost 20,
3. Man, I'm
19,
sleepy.
right?
4.
I think Cal's got more than 20. Oh, that's for 5 in the TC, right? Yeah,
so he's got that's
lots
total.
of lots of sheep for Myriad. And normally Myriad doesn't, Malians don't need sheep per se,
really don't.
But sheep and in this stage of the game is still good to have, right? In this map,
you'd rather have more than not, and you'd rather take them from your opponent overall. So
you don't really exactly. That's the big thing, right? So for Myriad to get all the sheep, it denies French sheep save food on their TC. Now they are going for pro scouts, but essentially it's still going to run out eventually. So and you also don't want to eat cows unless you have to. You want to put them in, you want to do the cow bloom, right?
Yeah, exactly. To answer Chewbacca's question, Magic dropped. Oh no, not Magic. Magic's still here. You're talking about what is it?
Oh, the other series?
The other series, the other series. Mista. The Mista dropped out because It was like 3 a.m. where he was at, and he had to get up in like 3 hours and take care of kids and stuff. Apparently, it's kind of what I heard through the grapevine. So he had to concede, and then he won the series and then conceded. So in the most Chad-like manner you could, he won the game, dropped the mic, and said, "Hey, I gotta go." It was fun, and so
exactly.
I believe Lash has the chance to play.
To be fair, that was a long series and a long last game with two redos. So, I mean, definitely understandable. I think it's like past 2 a.m. for him. So, I mean, you can't, very.
And the unsaid thing too is it's like he's going against Marine Lord afterwards as well. So maybe he just didn't think it was worth trying at that point. That's fair enough, I suppose. I mean, not to say that he couldn't maybe take a game and maybe even take a try for it, but No. Sometimes life gets in the way, and believe it or not, there are sometimes things more important than Age of Empires 4, which is hard to say. But sometimes, Ever felt true joy, in life, where you have some of those truly. I'm not talking like having your kids be born. I'm talking like you get promoted at work or something. True joy.
Or you get the perfect tower.
The perfect tower. There you go.
Gold. Yeah. All right. It looks like we're going to be able to continue here. All good. Both players just age up. Pro Scouts queued. And looks like Myriad's going into Kaboom eventually. Let's see here.
I think we have the next couple minutes kind of mapped out here as the first scout coming out of the School of Cavalry is going off for the nearest. The interesting thing about this map is there's a lot of small deer packs instead of large ones here. You got lots of packs of 3 all throughout the map.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So for this map, for French, I guess you can still go for them, but it's just so inefficient for other civs to try to build 50 wood mills, right, to try to get 3 deer, and it's not even efficient because you don't know if they're going to be close to deer and stuff like that. So French on this map just goes for Pro Scouts just to take advantage to actually be able to eat the deer, and you can eat the deer all over the map, right, not just on your side of the map. So that's why French typically does want to go for Pro Scouts on this map.
Yeah, food will never be a concern for Magic for the rest of the game, essentially. And if it does, that means we've overstayed our welcome on this map. As we see stable going down here for Myriad. He's also got a barracks making some Donzos, which feels like a right call.
Yeah, Magic actually just foregoes the first night, doesn't think he can do much damage with it. And Myriad is not aware of that, obviously, so he is playing it safe. He's dropping down a barracks before the second pit mine. He's dropping down even a stable before the second pit mine. So advantage is for Magic in the sense that he hasn't invested anything, but he's making Myriad invest in 2 production buildings and essentially 3 spears before he can do Kaboom or the second pit mine, right? So
Warrior Scout's in the queue. He does see the Pro Scout tech now, and that Magic has done that. Ooh, that Scout gets away with just a couple HP left. I mean, that was about as close as you want to take it. And archer range getting dropped down by Myriad. Or sorry, by Magic.
Yeah, I mean, he sees the Donzo, so he's just going to go for the archers. Now, Myriad is going for the second pit mine, and he's going for the Warrior Scouts. The Warrior Scouts are more so to try to prevent the deer being taken by Pro Scouts, but it's just that that Warrior Scout has such a low health that it's not going to be able to do too well, because normal Scout still has bonus damage against Scouts, right?
I believe so.
Are the Knights on the field also going to be able to protect that Scout? So all good.
Yep, and that is kind of the difference right there. Is like Warrior Scouts can be annoying, but the moment you put a Royal Knight on the field, it's kind of all over. Like, you can't fight those. They're never good. They're just so outclassed.
It's all fun and games until the Knight shows up, essentially.
Until the Knight shows up and pokes someone's eye out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Donzo's moving out, however. They can be a little more sticky against the Scouts. They don't mind poking the eyes out of a Knight.
No. I mean, Myriad still doesn't have any cows. It doesn't have in terms of Kaboom. And Magic is going for the boar as well. So
Boy, this is such a food greedy play, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Pro Scouts, a ton of sheep, and you're like, man, I need a boar.
Yeah, I mean, this is what he was planning on doing. I think lean heavily on the don't. Okay, that was scary there. Don't want to skewer your knights. These are important early units, right? Anywho, so for Myriad, 2 pit mines, fully kind of stocked up with houses. The passive gold is coming in no problem for Magic. The deer gathering is continuing, and he's even on the boar. He's going to continue making units, it looks like, to try to protect the boar and go from there. Few archers, and the first jab is out.
Javelin thrower is going to be really crucial here. This composition works very well for Malians against French because you've got the 2 hard counters, right? The only thing you don't have on your side as Malians is the mobility that the Knights have. So that's the only thing Magic really has going for him. The fact that also Magic food eco is well and away better than what Myriad's going to be able to have early on at this point. We do have 2 cows already produced, and more I'm sure will be on the way. But for now, like, Magic has some tempo to him. He's going to get some tempo with the speed that he can make of Knights. The tricky thing is, how does he convert that into a win against what Malians can do with their cow boom?
Yeah, it's definitely tricky. Even though the cow boom is delayed, and Magic does have some advantage in terms of going for the early pro scouts and being on board, obviously. But eventually, Myriad's going to be able to. I mean, this comp is just really hard to deal with for French, right? Archers and Knights versus jabs and donzos, and it's not like Byzantines where there's a limited amount of jabs where you have to rely on the berries, and if you get pressured on the berries, you can't have as many jabs. For Malians, it's just they have passive gold, they have passive
right
food,
yep.
And they just kind of make a lot of them.
I feel like the best win condition that French could have would be getting into Castle Age at a fairly decent pace, and then I feel like you could probably do quite a bit with some siege. Like, that's kind of the one thing I feel like where Malians are weak to is like mass mangonels and springles. I feel like that a siege ball could be scary for Malians, but outside of that, I mean, you have your work cut out for you. And then even having that siege mass, you got to be mindful then of Musafati sneaking up on him or something. So nothing's really a for sure fire way to stop this. So you're left running your Knights around, trying to find damage where you can. As we see right here, the Knights not able to get onto the Vills as the Donzos and Javelins are already on top. Tries to engage, gets a brace off, however. Doesn't lose anything but a scout, but man, otherwise, Myriad's looking really good right here.
Yeah, the problem with doing any type of fast castle versus Malians is, number one, the castle units don't really do that much. Malians have all types of options to try to counter castle units, even if they're in feudal. And if you do that, essentially giving all the time in the world for Malians to kind of cav them up, right? So the idea here is that with pro scouts and boar, you want to get some units out, push some pressure, do some damage, and kind of translate that pro scouts into some type of military advantage. But it's easier, harder than done. It's easier said than done. The other thing is the wood lines, right? We talked about Myriad's on that second wood line. I'm sure Magic's also close. And that's kind of what Magic has to attack on the left side of his base, or where the second pit mine is. That's where the second and third wood lines are. That's where the pit mine is. So that's kind of point of attack.
I love this wall. That's a smart decision right here. Holding up the side, because that's, again, the one thing that Myriad doesn't have that Magic does have is the mobility. And these walls deny that a little bit more, Make it hard to wrap around. Make it hard to get into the base and do more havoc, as we see a scout falls to Magic's Knights. He does have a sizable force moving forward here, trying to intercept the villagers out there. There's a window here where he could catch him off guard. A lot of Donzos and Jabs sitting right there as well in defense.
Yeah, Magic's going for spears right now, and it could be good to go for spears against javelins because they soft counter javelins in a way, because if they're focusing on spears, then they're not focusing on archers, right? And that's essentially the idea. But just so many units from Myriad, and he's able to defend no problem. And he's not being greedy in the sense that trying to cow boom and trying to fast castle. And so, I think Myriad's playing this safe, playing this methodically, and trying to make sure he doesn't give any, gaps for Magic to attack. As I say,
the villager's going to get caught out. Yep, 1, 2, 1 goes down. Nice little pickup, but not enough to give you a huge edge, but every little bit helps. Magic very much macroed towards a castle age. He stopped making knights, and now he's got more than enough gold he'll need, but he also is getting very close to having enough food to click up.
Yeah, look at all that deer on their TC.
Yeah, it's so much. And this could be a window, if he can get some siege on the field, get maybe some kind of castle age units, maybe take the tech up, because he has slowed Myriad down by a little bit. The gold is not really there. He's close on food, but it's gonna take him a couple minutes. There would be a small window for Magic to do something, and there's the guild hall. Maybe a Imperial play, fast into Imperial perhaps. I can see that doing some good work. You could get a good red palace down in front of the base.
Depends. I mean, the problem is right now Myriad just has eco, right? The cow boom. He has 20 out
Yeah.
of 20 cows, and so his eco is just so much better. And he's just going to tech up right now as well, right? So naturally, the thing about Malians is because you have so much passive and passive resources in the way of food and gold, you just kind of stop making units, and you're going to be able to age up really quickly.
Yeah, and he's already got more units. The army values are actually pretty comparable right now. It will be Grand Fulani Corral, no surprise there, as he's got 20 of 20 cattle right where you'll want it in the back of that base. It's really defendable, actually. That's nice compact base for Malians here, which makes it just so difficult to raid, which is, of course, I'm sure by design from Myriad. He's going to keep things compact, keep it all tight, make it tough. That way the mobility doesn't matter anymore, and he can just send his units where they need to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because it's prairie, you can't really afford that many walls. Now, Myriad does a little bit of a wall to kind of protect the right side of his base, but he just has superior army advantage, right? He's going to be able to get those or military upgrades really quick. They're unique upgrades for Donzo and Jav, so in no time they get their upgrades. And now, of course, the classic transition into Sofa. And for prairie, this transition is just really devastating a lot of times because you don't have walls, you have villagers all out on the map, and it's just really difficult.
This could be where those deer being around the town center and saving those for later could really help out if he gets raided off the other resources he's on. But the problem then is, like, you still need to have wood, you still need to have some of the other resources like gold, which will run out at around the 15-20 minute mark. Maybe a little later. It's a big 8k gold, so maybe a little later than that. Maybe 25 minute mark.
Yeah.
But still, a lot of military on the field here. Back and forth. Some scouts getting spotted. Both players now in Castle Age, and we are underway.
Magic's adding in some men-at-arms, but Myriad's able to see that, scout that out. So if he wants to, he can just add in some Zafari, or he can just focus in on the sofas. Magic already has 6 spears out on the field. He might have to lean more into spears just to protect his villagers. But yeah, like I said, the more sofas get out on the field, the more vulnerable Magic is to a lot of raids. The wood lines, the gold. Well, the gold is kind of a big goal already, but eventually you're gonna have to move out, right?
I do like the choice of going into some men-at-arms, actually. That does play well until Musafati are on the field of play. They do pretty good. Looks like he did make sure to hit things on food, so I almost feel like gold's gonna be a bigger problem. But maybe late game, I guess you stay on food and then find the gold elsewhere, and then later swap over. But sofas, this is the thing you were talking about, Yak, that these sofas are scary, and there's just nothing stopping them, really. So once they get into the base, I worry for how Magic's going to deal with this. But it's a foot race to get there first, and Magic deciding to take things into his own hands, dives the base into the Donzos he goes. He's got the numbers for this.
Yeah. But,
a couple body block vills go down.
A little slower to react to that, but under TC should be okay. Yeah, like you said, these sofas are going to be able to raid all over the place, and yeah, you just can't wall your base. And a significant mass for Myriad. Oh, he turns back. He's probably going to lose one, maybe. Oh.
Almost. I do think I see a wall being built right now, actually. So he sees the raid coming in. He's building a wall right down the middle of his base, trying to stop them being able to wrap around. It's actually a huge placement for that. That could really help slow things down. Meanwhile, Knight's in the front base of Myriad trying to get some damage. Knight goes down, gets a couple Vil kills. It's now 5-0. Archers and Men-at-Arms right on top of the sofa. The wall is what's going to meet them. They get trapped and more go down. Archer's just raining down Hellfire. That's another one that should be going down if he could just get within range. And yes, he's going to lose all 3 of those.
They decided to valiantly charge back in and lose their lives. And yeah, I mean, look at the military, right? So there's just so many Donzos. And in terms of economy, even though Magic is on deer the whole time, he was on boar the whole time, right? He's still not going to be able to keep up with Myriad in the long term. And like Cow's pointing out, the gold, the 8k is eventually going to run out, and he's going to have to go out on the map. And that's, Myriad knows that your opponent's French, so you got to target that gold.
It looks like Magic's trying to play for a bit of a long game. He's got another wall planned on the southwest side, trying to box in some of that gold, some of that stuff, trying to make sure he can secure it.
Ooh.
Right now, he's getting found out, though. Sofa trying to find their targets, not finding a lot. Big fight in the middle. Archers, however, there's a lot of javelin throwers with this. If the Knights can get on top of that, they could be really brutal. But
Those Knights
right now, as it is, Yeah, the Knights have to pull back. Archers trying to get onto the Donzos. They're just kind of trading fire. It's like a triangle of death, though. Knights trying to find the Javelins. Javelins fighting the Archers. Archers fighting the Donzos, and the Donzos trying to find the Knights. It's just chaos, but it's hard to find the targets. The range units win out, which means the Archers have to back off because they just can't afford to lose their numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is the reason why Malians is a good matchup versus French, right? Especially in this Castle Age, with the full cow boom. This might be an okay fight for Magic.
You can get those Donzos down. Yeah, the Donzos are falling pretty fast. There's a lot of Javelins in there. They do pretty high base damage as is, but they got to back off. Their front line collapses, and now they're resumed just to hiding as best they can. Knights need to get on this as hard as they can. Take out as many of those Javelins now. Poison arrows coming in as well for Myriad. That could be really problematic as they maybe transitions off of the javelin throwers and onto archers instead. Knights running out, and there's still a pretty good javelin mass there. That's really not something you want to comfortably fight if you're Magic.
Yeah, Myriad is going away from Donzos more for the most part. He's focusing on sofas and archers. And so Magic could maybe focus on Knights of his own and try to overwhelm. He already has 7 out on the field. Yeah, like you said, the jab numbers are problematic, and there's no more archers, or 20 archers only trying to retreat, right?
Archers kiting back the sofa as best they can. Some spears are there running right past them. There they go. They'll get onto them a little bit more. At this point, like Magic, like it feels like it's even, but long term, Magic has to have a plan. He is building a keep that will help quite a bit and get the discount, which would make a big difference. He does have 1260 in the bank as far as food goes. He's looking for the Red Palace. Exactly. I was thinking what I was thinking. It's kind of your one ticket back into this game is a Red Palace, and then going for some late game stuff. I think French does start getting enough late game to maybe deal with the Malians, because Malians in Imperial Age doesn't. I'm whelmed by Malians in Imperial Age. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not underwhelmed. I'm just kind of whelmed. I don't think they have a lot going. Their biggest strong point is kind of right now and for the next 10 minutes.
Absolutely. With the cow boom, that's, cow boom food eco is, Castle Age, right? That's the strongest point where you have all that tempo advantage from the extra food income. And like you said, right now, if Magic can take advantage of a decent haul from Guild Hall from the food, and they can age up and maybe go for archers, or archer knight. The thing is, he has to secure some gold, though, because eventually he will have to go out on the map for gold. He still have some gold behind his base, but if he's going to age up, definitely needs more gold.
Yeah, there's also relics in play here, 2 and 2, and there's one more in hand by Myriad. So he will take the split, it looks like 3-2. So those have been counted for, but a pretty even split overall. Meanwhile, in the base, Myriad pushing in the front door of Magic. There is a keep right there, and with the poison archers, those crossbows can't do a ton. Magic needs to be really careful right here because he's trying to hold for a late game play.
Yeah, the keep is huge here to try to protect the base a little bit, and Magic is actually doing. He's going to horsemen, trying not to overuse the gold, which could be a good play here against archers as well. Yeah, because they're not.
And he needs to save it for Imperial Age too. Yeah, he's got a lot of range stuff, lots of stone. Wow, Magic really trying to lean into the stone and get some kind of resources that he can generate. Meanwhile, he's cashed out. He has cashed out the food. He's not quite there yet. He's just spending it. Oh, that feels really bad.
Yeah. You just need a few more hundred, then it would have been nice.
He's so close, but even if he ages up to Imperial Age, it's pretty even military. You're wiping out. If you can get on top of that, you'd be fine. He does have a pretty good massive knights still wrapping around the map, looking for some damage. But the problem is the damage that's really happening right now is in his own base being inflicted on his own villagers.
Yeah, I mean, this is always the position, tough position when you don't quite, you're not quite there in terms of age up, Imperial for French. But you also don't want to make units. You can't make units, and then you just caught off guard. And that's what Magic is in this situation right now. He does have a lot of stone. He's trying to get that second keep up probably to secure more gold. Maybe secure more gold in the wood is the idea here. And he's trying to raid.
Raid in the back.
Yeah,
knights in the back. If he can get on the cow boom, actually, we should take a look at that. If we keep going up in the middle, all the vills being sent to the middle. But meanwhile, knights in the back, if they can take down the cow boom. There's nothing there at home. If they can start killing some cows.
That's actually pretty important.
Yeah, kill those cows. There you go. Kill them.
4.
Sorry, cow. Look away.
If you can get like 4, was it pastures?
Yeah, if you can take down 4 of those, that would help a lot. Go a long way to balancing this game out. He's got a couple. That's 2 down. That's a decent little dent. At this point now, yeah, the cattle ranches. Now in come, yeah, pastures is for the Mongols, sheep. Now in come the resources for Myriad, flooding into his own base, trying to defend. Meanwhile, that keeps us up. It keeps only really on top of berries. Is he out of food? Is Magic out of food?
Could be. Oh my god, is he out of food? He used up all of his guild hall and he's out of food.
All of his sheep, all of the guild hall, and all of the boar, he had so much food. And now 22 minutes in, he might be just out.
Ay, ay, ay.
That would be why. Otherwise, why put the keep on the berries when you need the gold? But yeah, he's got enough gold. It's the food.
He doesn't. Yeah, he's starving. Absolutely.
Not quite enough damage dealt to the cow boom either, but a decent dent, but maybe not worth all the knights he threw away. That's to be seen. Military numbers pretty even, and so are the field numbers. Things are very close together. The only difference is that Myriad's food eco is just so much more secure.
Yeah, I mean, Magic right now has to do a farm transition on Prairie. A farm transition on Prairie is always the worst. So it's just kind of, for Malians on this map, that's safe. Passive food eco is just so huge, and these knights are a lot outnumbered. He is switching into horseman crossbow, though, Magic is, so he's moving away from knights. Just as I said that he's queuing more, but the long term, he's in some stone walls.
Oh wow, that's funny. There's no way that stays up. That's so many vills. Will they get that up in time though?
Yeah, but he's gonna at least.
He's gonna lose a lot for it. Ouch. He's so desperate for the gold. That's like 50 vills right there. Oh man.
I mean, he gets it up.
Well, Pyrrhic victory. I mean, like, who won that, really? Like, you're losing so much eco. I don't feel like that's a good thing. And the monks having a religious debate on the sacred site as to who deserves it more.
Yeah.
This is a really chaotic game. This has been just pure chaos as walls are going up all across the map.
Yeah, it's funny on this map, because wood is so scarce, Myriad just goes directly for the stone walls. Makes sense, but yeah, there's that keep to try to secure that wood line for Magic because, yeah, every wood line on this game is really so important, right?
So important. A good pickup here from the Knights though, on top of the vills. That wall won't even complete. They're gonna get so much destruction done there, so that's gonna even up, and it's now 33 to 15 villager kills. Probably gonna end up being 33 to like 18 or 19 when all is said and done there.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for that keep, then the villager count wouldn't be too bad. But Myriad's not only with the better eco in terms of cab boom, but he also has more villagers, around 10 more villagers, right? So that's definitely not a position that you want to be in as French. Now, he did get more than 2k food from the guild hall, but guild hall is not a long-term eco.
No, and this is where we're seeing that kind of fall apart. Is he was so close to be able to click up to Imperial Age, and now that's kind of gone. That train has left the station, and now Myriad with 2 town centers, as Cal was pointing out, is going to start just eking even more out of this game as far as production. There's a town center for Magic matching it.
Yeah. Yeah, having normally against civs like Malians, maybe Ottomans, and passive resource civs, sometimes you don't want to be behind on villagers, especially as when you're French, right? Your thing is kind of passive, increased speed in terms of villager production. So you always want to be ahead of your opponent and villagers, especially in these situations where you're behind on the economy. So Magic adds the second TC there, but Myriad just knows where to attack, right? It's obvious where the opponent's getting resources from, especially in terms of wood. So it's just kind of hard to defend for Magic.
Yeah, he's trying to get farms up, but he's just getting raided everywhere. It's these Sofa are just proving so catastrophic in so many ways. He went really wide with his walls to the point where he never really closed anything out, which just left a lot of open gaps for these things to get in. And we're seeing the results of that right now as so many villagers go down. Crossbows trying to get through, but so much damage being dealt. 42.
Oh my goodness.
42 villager kills in counting.
Yeah, this is a big problem in terms of 58 villagers, 76 villagers. The second TC has barely gone down. And Myriad's keeping the keep on the gold resources, so he's not going to have access to much gold eventually. Magic. There is that keep there, but these are not 8K larger gold veins. These are smaller ones, right? So yeah, maybe even like
It just
eventually you
feels like
can
the
go
eco power
trade, I
of
guess.
yeah, it feels like Malians just have like, even though the numbers are pretty close, like 20 plus fills over a Magic is pretty bad, but militarily things feel close. But 4 to the 100, it's just the eco. You can see the bank that Myriad has built up behind this from the passive generation of resources is so much better, as it will be Malians kicking into gear as only 120 sitting in the guild hall. That feels so bad. Really did not want to pull it out when he did, but he had to, I think, to survive. The third town center, though, instead for French. He's trying to find some way to get into this. Imperial Age is going to be so far away.
Yeah, I think he, if he had gone for a few TCs maybe earlier on instead of trying to look for the age up, it might be interesting. Or like Cal was pointing out, that maybe like a market trade situation. But at this point, Myriad is aging up. He has that archer, and he has just classic cav archer comp, right? And those archers, imperial archers with poison arrows, are gonna be a big problem.
Oh man, that fortress is right on it, and he's not going to see it till it's too late. He's just outside, and then he sees it right as it ticks up. Oh, that's got to feel really bad if you're Magic, knowing now you were kind of lagging behind economically, and now you're behind a whole age up. Myriad in the Imperial Age, sitting on a sacred site.
The fight right now.
I don't think you could. No, I don't think you take that fight anyways, which is terrible because you need to take a fight to win right now. Not looking good for Magic at all.
Yeah, once those upgrades come in, there's really nothing. I mean, there's a lot of crossbows, and
French crossbows are
strong, but
the archers are pretty good.
Ooh,
that's.
I mean, he
realized into 57 archers. That's having the Arbitrie is pretty good. That is a good change he's built into. He's got to use it though and make something happen. Yeah, pretty hard counter to the sofa there. But again, you're down in age. Can you do enough damage with them? Because you can't really dive into that fortress with them. I guess maybe you could. They with the Gambesons you could. Not that you'd want to. Just see the sofa backing up, and here come the archers of Myriad. Those are the poison archers.
And they get upgraded right now. And he's getting the blacksmith upgrade, the unique upgrade from Malians that gives more damage to archers. So these are going to even pack more of a punch. And remember, these are poison archers, right? So elite poison archers versus arbs with elite sofas. It's just, Myriad doesn't even care that there's a keep there.
Yeah, he just sits there and tanks it. Arb's doing a valiant effort to hold off, but I think there's just too much for Myriad, and he can just build this back again super easily, it feels like. Bombard is on the field as well, so he's going to have an answer to these keeps in about 20 seconds or so.
Yeah,
and then I mean, if he were to start making more siege, like some mangonels or stuff, he'd really be able to take care of these arbs, with the poison damage doing pretty good into them.
Yeah, Myriad has just been able to draft well and also plan well in terms of what civs he wants to play on which maps. And yeah, it's just really tough for French on this map against Malians, and you can see why. A lot of different stages of this game, right? The cow boom just kind of gives you so much advantage to give that sofa mass to try to raid and do damage. No walls on, like we've been talking about this the whole game, right?
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It was a tricky matchup from the beginning, and it felt like there was maybe kind of an avenue there for Magic to try and wiggle out a win if he tried, but just kind of slipped away from him. Malian's just so good and able to just kind of surround him with those sofa in the mid game. Really made it hard for him to. If he was just looking for to stabilize, right? He wanted to stabilize, get a little ahead economically, and then get up to age, and then inflict some damage with a really good tempo, and just could never get to that point. Using the guild hall for something other than what we see right now was just so brutal. And now here comes the Red Palace matching the age up, so Magic's still alive, although maybe not very hale, you could say.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a decent arb mass, and he has some gold in the back. Yeah, eventually he might want to set up trade because he's not going to be able to do too much in terms of gold out on the map. But courtesy of the guild hall, he is still able to age up. He places the Red Palace on his food eco, so that's safe, more or less, from sofa raids, and you're just gonna go from there, right? He is on 3 TC. He is slowly getting back the eco count, but yeah, I don't know
Even
if he can hold.
Yeah, even if he matches the eco numbers, he's still behind just by virtue of the cow boom. So it's like, man, he's be relying on a guild hall to keep him in this later and later, which is just not looking feasible. He's got a decent sized military though. He's got a bigger military than Myriad at the moment. He needs to make something happen, but right now it's his base that's under fire.
Yeah.
His bombards are a problem too. He needs to find a way to get on top of those. Musafati gunners, I see 13 of them on the field.
Yeah, I mean, Myriad has his eco is so good that he can kind of afford to do these. I get it, premium units, sofas, archers. He's kind of shied or gone away from archers and gone instead for Musafati warriors, or not warriors, the Musafati gunners. Excuse me. But yeah, he is able to afford all this. But if you know, Magic has decent army right there. I don't think does he have elite on the arch?
No, he does not. Those are Castle Age arbitrary still.
Yeah, so that's you just queued out right now.
Yeah, I queued it up right now. It's gonna be another minute or two. Doing pretty good job against the sofa. He clears them out easily. Just needs to get in. He's got knights trying to get back on the cow boom. He's just trying so hard to get back there.
Oh, he's
already the sofa on top of him.
The cow ranch is burning, so he might lose 2 there. Oh, they're burning.
Nope, not. They're burning. They're burning.
7, 6, 5.
Just build them again, though. It's like that's such a little blip in your grand scheme of things, right? The cows are still alive. If you killed the cows, that'd be more annoying because then you couldn't move the carcasses around. But
yeah, he is getting. You know, Magic is the 3 TCs really helping him kind of stay alive at this point. Myriad hasn't been able to kill him, and so with the army, he's able to. But I don't know if he has enough to push, so I don't think he should push. He's just gonna come back, get some of these upgrades, elite upgrades, and then kind of go back to drawing board.
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting because Magic is sort of stabilized. I mean, he's still on some outside food resources, and there's still the gold and other things to consider, and he needs to get trade set up if he wants to stay late game in this. But so far he's stabilized, and I will still contend that French has a much better Imperial Age than Malians does. So Malians, like Power Spike, was really good late castle. Now he's in Imperial Age, but that tech buff is kind of gone. Now Magic has kind of matched it. So pound for pound, he's... Oh, that sucks, though. Losing those vills there. Brutal loss, and with some great surrounds, too. Honestly, at this point, I would almost give up some villagers for some
he's going to rush up that. Yeah, I don't think... Hopefully, Magic is able to see that, and he does. It prevents that keep from going up, because... Yeah, these keeps all over the map for Myriad is doing a great job for give him advantage to try to deny some of these resources. Now, Myriad is trying to raid, but with the Arab placement, in the red plasm placement,
he's still inflicted some 75 villager kills, so he's done a good job of raiding, and we got the Phantom Bombards hovering over. He's he's in age 7. Look at that. He's got hovering craft now. Get this StarCraft out of my medieval RTS game.
It was an online game. I think it was the Age of War that we would play when we were small. When we were kids, basically you just age up, and then you get like those alien things, alien units. Yeah, exactly. So it looks like Myriad's getting some of that tech advantage, using that properly. And yeah, Cal was pointing out earlier that he's just using the stone he's getting from the landmark as well to build all these keeps around the map to try to choke, box out Magic to try to deny some of these resources, gold and woodlines, right? Remember. Now you said that Malians aren't great in compared to French in the late game, which is true, but a lot of passive resources on this map is really good for Myriad as opposed to Magic. He kind of has to build his eco the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, he does. He is still able to get in there. This is not a walled-in base, so Knight's able to get in and kill some more cows, causing some destruction there. That's actually not bad. Chipping away at this lead. At this point, Myriad, though, sitting on 122 villagers. It's kind of insane for Malians this late in the game.
Yeah, Magic doesn't have that food bank like Myriad does. Similar eco in terms of income for both players, except wood is a little more favored, and yes, Myriad has a lot of wood banked up. I think he's also trying to just gobble up all the wood on the base or around the map, try to kind of not
This
have.
would be crucial.
Yeah,
The cows are going down. He is doing a great job of killing these cows. There's lots of just wandering bovines around the base of the Malians. I'm not sure what happened to their pens. More being planned, but this could be a pretty good infliction of damage, because getting rid of that passive income, that's what's been keeping Myriad in. Granted, he does have a pretty big bank of 2,200 food and a lot of wood behind this, so he could even just farm transition if he really needed to, but that would put him back a long ways.
I will say that one way French can kind of gain a lot of advantage here is to set up proper trade, right? Because even if you don't have wood out on the map, you have the guild hall, which is on gold, but eventually you can use your traders on wood when there's no wood lines available to you.
Yeah.
So that's another advantage for French trade.
He needs to get his base walled in a bit better, and then he needs to get that trade going. And the tricky thing is there's a bunch of stuff from Myriad down in that south corner. He's going to need to secure that. Myriad Magic's going to need to get that secured if he wants to go for it. But right now, he still has 2,500 gold in the bank. So he has gold right now. And that's not his concern. His concern, I think, is still food long term.
Yeah. Got to set up that farm transition a little more, probably a few more farms, and then try to get that food eco. Yeah, now you see that Myriad's food income has dropped a lot compared to where it was before, and it's only 27.
It was like 22. It was like 2,200 food for a moment ago. Now down to 600. That has been a huge blow. This could be a window for Magic to do some serious damage right now. He needs to find a way to capitalize on the tempo he's given himself.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to eat the cows very quickly, and then so he can put on the cattle ranches, right? Like you were saying, it's not just losing the cattle ranches, kind of body blocking the new ranches that can be built.
Yeah. Meanwhile, more attacks underneath the keep here. This stone is very crucial here for Magic's plans. Needs to keep enough keeps to keep things going. How many times can I say keep in one sentence? Villagers coming in for the pull. They're trying to torch it down. I'm going to keep saying it till I can't keep saying it about these keeps. Keep on saying the keeps while we watch the keeps get keeping down. I don't know.
Yeah,
this game's going on 40 minutes. I'm getting a little insane as this keep it's done. It's torched. It's gone.
I mean, keep having hope. They're coming. And I don't know about that, though.
Gosh. Oh, yeah, I don't have a lot of hope to keep at this point.
That keep is not long for this world. Keep goes down, and yeah, I mean, the arbs are doing good damage. The problem is, I think Magic didn't have boiling oil at that point. That would have been a huge for him, right?
Oh, yeah, that'd been big. Remember that upgrade got nerfed super bad a while ago, too. Used to be a crazy ability. It's still good, but it was really good back in the day.
Oh, back in the day, you couldn't really stand below a keep.
No, it didn't matter if you had knights or men-at-arms. You just could not stand under it. Album's slowly recovering, but it's a slow process there.
Yeah,
a lot of wood. Myriad's got a ton of wood.
I don't know. Did there more villagers? I guess the keep went down, so there was like 10, 15 villagers that went down. Oh my gosh,
it's 133 worker kills. Where did Magic's eco go? Were they all right there? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got like 3 or 4 TCs at this point, so he could recover that, but ouch. Payback for the cows, I guess.
So much map control all over the map with keeps and stuff, and Magic doesn't have trade, so it's prolonged
time almost. Yeah,
exactly.
It's tough though, because French units in Imperial are tough to take down, and that's the problem. Is he's got 55. He's gonna have 65 Arbaletrier, plus a Royal Cannon, plus Horsemen. It's just there's such a difficult unit. When you've got the best unit in the game, how do you stop that? Like, they're fully upgraded too, so that's kind of the problem that Myriad's running into. It's a tough nut to crack, and he's trying, but you can only feel he's got so many villagers on his side. He can only field a military of about 60 some odd pop.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have if you're a late game. You have too many villagers. You can always delete, but it takes a while for them to build it back up. And like I said, French, you don't want to have less villagers than your opponent, and you have a lot less villagers. Almost 70 villagers. Almost. That's a whole village.
Yeah, and he's still losing more. 145 worker kills. That will be the difference in this game. If Myriad finds a way to finally close this one out and win, the difference in this game will be the worker kills that he has just incessantly destroyed villager after villager.
Yeah. And we see adjustable crossbars. So
that's the answer.
Yeah, exactly. So Arbs are very, very strong. They're almost like hand cannon level strong in some ways with their upgrades. But as we learned earlier, if you want to deal with hand cannoners or at least really strong range units, you just go for those imp mangoes, right?
Every unit does indeed have its counter. Every unit does. There is a way. More keeps coming down. Boy. So many castles dot this desolate prairie now. This reaching like World War I levels of meat grinding.
Yeah. It's really interesting. You would think that prairie as a map doesn't really go for long games, but in the top level, a lot of times the games drag out so long in prairie.
It feels like counterintuitive, right? Like it's such an open map, but sometimes I feel like prairie games either end very quickly or go on very long, as we're seeing here. And this is one of those ones where they've both been playing the long game. You know, we haven't had a proper, I feel like in our time casting yak, we haven't had a proper 45-minute to an hour game just yet. And I guess we were due for one, because these don't come up too often. You don't see Imperial Age every game, but when you do, you might be in for a long haul.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times also because just a handful of civs are playing on this map, a lot of times those civs are passive resource civs where even if you don't have access to resources out on the map, you can still kind of go by. Malian, you know, Calboom, Hit Mines, French Trade, Guild Hall, and all the other civs, HRU relics, and everything like that. So Myriad's going for scouts, actually. He's kind of a front line. And he's
just cheap stuff, cheap flak. I mean, one thing to keep in mind too is the sacred site timer is below 5 minutes now, so that becomes a little bit pressing here.
Yeah, so I don't know if he does queue some units there, and the keep's gonna go up eventually. So he's gonna have 3 sacred sites. Now it's a little harder to keep 3 sacred sites as opposed to 2 in the other the Rockies map, right? So a little different. Yeah, a lot of scouts, it looks like, just kind of full on scouts. He has a large food bank, I think, and you don't want to go so far, right, against Arab, so I think that's the idea there.
Yeah, exactly. Arbitrary Mass still doing a lot of work in the middle here. However, the sacred site timer down to 4 minutes and 5 seconds. So this game could be over soon.
Myriad's doing the right thing here because he's going for the mangoes. This is the huge difference maker here. So mangoes, archers, hand cannons, the Musafati gunners, and then a front line of scouts, which are basically dirt cheap. Yeah,
this is almost down. That thing is about packed out. It is barely holding on.
The upgrade, the unique upgrade, so that the villagers for Malians can repair faster. A lot of times we forget about that upgrade.
Yep. Well, when you play this many civs in a tournament, these they all have such specific things. But yeah, that one's one that gets forgotten a lot for people who don't main Malians. Those horsemen, probably not. Those warrior scouts, probably not long for the world here, but they're just flak at this point. They're super cheap. Big bombard going down. That's a big win for Magic. But he still has 3 minutes and 20 seconds to get on a sacred site and decap it. Running out of time slowly but surely here. Arbs need to get a good win on one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's it called? The warrior scouts have bonus to range, right? So they still do decent damage versus Arbs, and they obviously don't take bonus damage. So it's a good option here as a front line, and all the while Myriad's building up that back line of archers and especially Musafati gunners. And so
there's the upgrades now clicked up finally.
Yeah, Myriad's on top.
There are units in Magic space. Behind this, he is losing and hemorrhaging more villagers. Knights get on top of a mangonel. That's a good hit.
One mango goes down. But 2 mangoes is still a lot to deal with. These are Imperial mangoes, right?
Ooh. Keep on the back line of Magic. Classic keep saying, no, your base is my base now. Get out of the game. Meanwhile, sacred site timer down to 2 minutes and 28 seconds. It holds there as the Knights step on top, trying to take care of the archers. Arbs running out of steam, though. Those mangoes are still there. Knights can't get to them. Another shot. Stutter steps and avoids most of the damage. And the sacred site timer continues to tick. We're now down to 2 minutes and 22 seconds. A trebuchet right next to the keep, starts firing away. However, the villagers have to repair as a cannon immediately starts taking down that keep. But Magic is definitely on the back rope here.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the shortest trap shot I've ever seen.
You don't have to worry about a keep on your farms and Treb in the back, right? While you're trying to focus and trying to decap a site. But that's always not great. Now, Myriad has a great backline. He has that siege coming on as well. He just doesn't want to overextend too much, just so you don't have to, because you don't have that big of a food bank, right? Your resources are limited. You want to lose your
a lot of slaughtered.
You don't want to lose your army.
Well, it's 1 minute and 38 seconds to go. 3 mangoes on the field. One-shotting just throwing everything you can at that one knight in particular. Still a decent amount of arbs, 35. That's about half of what he used to have. Now he's raiding. Magic raiding Myriad in the back as well for what good it'll do him. There has been 193 kills to 88. This is just insanity.
I don't think Myriad cares much about those raids, because he probably wants to lose a few villagers just so, because this is the kind of the 1 minute left, right? So as many villagers as you can, or as many army as you can have, it's good for you. And the other thing is, Myriad's units are not very efficient, as in terms of, he has 50 archers, right? He has 50 pop and archers. It's not ideal. Now he does have gunners, and he does have some siege. So those are what's going on for him.
At 1 minute and 17 seconds left. Magic looking to try and posture on that sacred site, but Myriad already sitting his entire army there, trying to wall in the south one now as well.
46 villagers, by the way. So even if he decaps,
how do you man? Where's your win condition? Yeah, at this point looking a little rough. 58 seconds in counting.
And
Bard almost getting sniped there. Yeah, only 100 pop. This looks like it's the beginning of the end. One last ride for Magic here before we go on to our final, or maybe not our final, but go on to the next game here. Myriad very much in control of this one. 49 seconds will resume as soon as this army gets wiped up, and I imagine that's going to be GG's.
Nope. Yeah, very well played by Myriad. Always on the attack, always raiding, keeping the villager count low, knowing when to attack, not letting Magic get that free upgrade or free tech from the guild hall. So very active, well played game, very active on the map, getting map control, putting keeps all over the map so they can kind of box Magic in and not give him free access to those outside resources. And also prevents kind of an optimal trade, right? So he had that little keep on the south side of the map that prevented essentially the full length trade. I don't know if Magic was going to go trade, but either case,
really
well played by Myriad.
Anyways. Yeah, no, exactly. Myriad takes game number 2. We have a 2-1 series here. That one, we've seen some games go as fast as 15 minutes. This one going 56 minutes 30 seconds. So we're in for a long haul indeed. We have at least one more game, maybe even 2, depending on how Magic performs in this next one. But it's game point to Myriad as we look at our next one coming up after this. Boy, what a long game, huh? Whew.
Yeah, definitely a series. Now, Magic has lost the 2 games. It's partly because of the matchups, and that's kind of part of the game, right? You want to draft, you want to plan ahead, you want to see what maps you have, what matchups that you're trying to aim for. And Myriad has done a great job in terms of getting the matchups that he's gunning for. So the last 2 games, Myriad has gotten what he wants in terms of matchups and gotten the win. And let's see what next matchup is, right? So next map, so Magic, because the first game was a little more set up in terms of decent in favor of Magic for the matchups wise with Byzantines.
Exactly. Well, I just want to point out too, the APM here was 150 for Myriad. Lest anyone think you need to have 800 APM to be a good player. Myriad showing that 150 is all it takes. All it takes. Gonna deal with Malians, but an upcoming match is all question marks. We are waiting to see what it will be after this. Ooh, it's gonna be Dry Arabia. That's exciting.
We'd like to see that. Dry Arabia, the king of all maps. If there's a king of the Rockies that we're gonna see eventually, I think you can crown the king of all maps as Dry Arabia.
Yeah, probably. It's the most balanced, except for the sheep are always scattered weird on it. And it's gonna be Japanese into Delhi. We haven't seen Delhi yet.
Interesting.
For you and I casting at least. I don't know if we saw it earlier in the day. I might have missed it.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, we did see.
Oh, we did see. Okay. Cow saying we did see Delhi earlier. I missed that, but this is my first look at it today. So Japanese versus Delhi should be fun. I'm still excited about the variant civ with the elephants, or the elephants. Excuse me.
Elephants.
Excuse me.
Nah, they should call it the elephants. I don't know why they
Elephants.
didn't.
I can't really say two.
Yeah.
I don't think I say two clock correctly. I like feel like I'm fumbling over that, but I'm gonna call it Delephants from now on. Here we go. Coined it right here, right now. You got Delhi and you got Delephants.
Real quick. Japanese versus Delhi. So, Dry Arabia, I think Delhi is good in here. Depends on how he plays it. Who has Delhi? Magic has Delhi, right?
I
think Magic has
so.
Delhi and Myriad has Japanese is my guess. So it also depends on the spawns. Usually they, I like to go for Tower of Victory because I just don't want to queue
old school.
scholars.
Okay, that's definitely not the meta right now. As someone who plays Delhi as a semi-elephant enjoyer, that is definitely not the meta right now. I remember when Tower of Victory used to be Tower of Memes or Tower of Defeat, and then it became the actual Tower of Victory again, and now it feels like it's back to being the Tower of Defeat. It's good in certain instances, but I feel like you're just missing out by not going for the Dome of the Faith because there's just so much you get out of it. The timing, it just works out really well. It just feels better, I think, and it's a more, I want to say, more well-rounded build, and you're not just banking on winning early.
Dome of Faith essentially kind of helps out Delhi with its civ advantages, right? Kind of gives those free techs really quickly. So if you can build up that mass, even if you're kind of losing out on the army, you can still age up, get the tech up, and all your research is free, and you can kind of get the advantage that way. Whereas Tower of Victory is, you might not have all your eco upgrades or all your upgrades in general in time for all stages of the game, but you have stronger army, right? You have a significantly stronger army in terms of your infantry. So it's just kind of two play styles.
Yeah, most definitely. Ooh, well, this one is a really long fought battle. Felt like there was a chance for Magic to get in there and win this one. Myriad able to hold off though. This was, I think if Magic could have held this game here by securing his base a bit more, like I think that moment that really made and broke this game was when Magic had to cash out the guild hall and didn't age up with it. Like that just felt so brutal that he had to do that, and I think that put him back just enough to the point where Myriad was just always ahead from there. But to be fair, Magic grinded this one out. It was close. It was not a done deal for a while.
Yeah, it's just an early game, and this matchup, what do you do, right? You have all the setup that you need. You have board, you have a bunch of deer under your TC, you have your safe gold behind, all the things that French wants, right? But you just can't really do much against Malians with the cow bloom, with the safe cow bloom. So it's really just kind of, you have all the advantages, but what do you do? What do you go from there? And it just kind of forces you to go late game, and it's just kind of tough.
I think that's the nail on the head. Like you get all the advantage of map control all you want, and then Malians is still ahead. And maybe that's something to be said that maybe it's too good or something like that. I don't know. I'll leave that discussion to people smarter than myself, but it definitely feels like it's for French especially. It's just so tough because they're just so good at holding, and their units perfectly counter what you can do. It just feels really difficult to manage. But to be fair, Magic gave a really good ride on it. So we will see how he does here in our next one, as we've got game 4 coming up after this. This is a good time to remind you guys, if you guys like the merchandise of King of the Rockies and you want a nice t-shirt or a nice hoodie, those are available, and all proceeds do go to helping fund the event. You can do !merch and to find the links there to buy your own hoodie. You also, I think, can buy them at the event as well, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but that's what we had last year. It was at the event you could buy both the t-shirts and the hoodies. So that is something you can go do. I definitely highly recommend you check it out. The logo is clean as can be. Looks really good. Looks like, there it is right there. And the shirt's high quality stuff too. I've got a shirt from last year. My wife's got a hoodie. She wears it literally all the time. She wears it all the time up here in the northwest of the United States, where it's kind of cold and rainy.
Yeah. Another minute or two before we can get into the next game. And in this matchup, actually, I think it's a lot, Magic's got to feel a little better about the matchup and how he can approach it, because I think Delhi is just fine versus Japanese. You can play a feudal, you can go castle, you can kind of do different things, and you can have a set plan that actually, because a lot of times in these bad matchups, you don't really know what to do, what the best situation, what best course of action is. and there's just bad options, right? And you just try to pick the better of the bad
Mhm.
options. But in this situation, you can put on pressure as Delhi, you can get sites, you can play feudal, get advantage that way, and there's definitely a good chance that Magic is able to tie the series and for that series.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of what I think I want to say it was Puppy Paw told me at King of the Rockies last year, and it stuck with me. He's like, sometimes you said you get a bad matchup, and you guys, both players, just kind of know how it plays out. Especially like one of those like
Yeah.
Malians versus French, where you just know how it plays out. And Puppy Paw said that it's moments like that he usually tries doing something off meta, because if you just follow the meta, you're just kind of setting yourself up to lose. And so
Yeah.
he probably would try something like a Chamber of Commerce or something weird, or maybe try and do something different to try and break that mold, because otherwise you just kind of get pigeonholed into what we kind of see in the same old song, same old dance. Oh, here we are, game number 4. IamMagic is down here down in the count, but not out yet. He's in blue as the Delhi Sultanate here in the northern corner, and in the south side is red Myriad with Japanese, looking at the game point, hoping to get one more down to win it and be shipped on to King of the Rockies in October.
Yeah, looking at the spawns here, some of the resources for both players, Myriad has a decent spawn, I think, especially considering the fact that the 2 woodlines are forward. I mean, you can get pressured there, and you might kind of struggle defending the woodlines, but it's easily wallable, and there's 2 berry packs very back, right? And then the gold also kind of tucked away a little bit towards the back of the base just because of the 2 woodlines. So if Magic is kind of putting up pressure, it might be a little difficult to hit some of those key resources, but it just kind of depends on how the game plays out in terms of what Japanese wants to do. Does he want to do a fast castle, or does he want to do like Yumi, kind of fight feudal, not let Delhi get all the sites? Just depends.
Yeah, most definitely. This map's always so fun to see, just kind of nice and open. 2 woodlands in the front here for Myriad. Japanese has a very nice safe option if they want to try and go castle, but again, it's tricky. The sacred sites I've noticed on Dry Arabia kind of spawn a little funky. They always feel like they're shifted to one side, as we kind of see here in the line that they are in. The farthest northeast one, kind of all the way in the tucked away in the corner there, they always kind of shift over to one side or the other of the map. I've noticed on Dry Arabia more often than not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, you can't always pinpoint where the sacred sites are going to reliably spawn, but in terms of spawns, I think it's not too bad. I think the
No, this
farthest
one's
away
not
maybe
too
is
bad.
slightly closer. Yeah, but so it's not like too absurd. It's not like one player has gold under the TC or anything like that. Nothing like that. So, yeah.
Well, no Dark Age shenanigans
See.
from either civ, it looks like. Japanese does have a tendency to want to do that from time to time. They can go with the barracks and be kind of silly. It's gonna be standard stuff though from Japanese. I would expect we get the storehouse, and not get the ninjas here. Meanwhile, I do not expect the tower. Yeah, it is Dome of Faith. As I say, I do expect Dome of the Faith to come down for Magic. So far, seems like we got a very meta, very standard play from both players.
Yeah. Yeah, and the core storehouse in the back, safe, tucked away. Yeah, normally you want to put it next to the woodlines, but because the woodlines are both forward, Myriad chooses safety over just some efficiency in the early game. He'll drop a lumber camp if he needs to. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the nice thing about putting it where he did there is the first farm on this thing is always in the northwest corner, right there where those sheep are at the moment. And so it's going to line those farms right next to his TC to start out. So nice and safe. Also, he's got a really good sheep haul. Look at that. How many is that total?
Yeah.
For Dry Arabia, that's pretty amazing. 16 sheep is the lion's share for sure. And that's one thing that Delhi struggles with is food becomes an issue after about 10-15 minutes. That is a tough thing to deal with as a Delhi player.
Absolutely. Now, he is on Dome of Faith, so he's able to get Pro Scouts eventually for free. So that's something to keep an eye on. But like you said, the sheep advantage for Myriad is significant, right? This is Dry Arabia. It's not prairie. You don't have sheep to go around for everybody. And so that's a big advantage. And like you said, food is a big issue for Delhi eventually. Whereas Japanese gets those free farms, and he gets the kind of those berry advantage, eco upgrades and stuff like that. Delhi is required, to have that food to aid tempo and try to get units out. All right, let's see here.
Japanese, I'm waiting to see what production building he does or what he goes on here. Curious what we'll see out of Delhi as well.
A couple of ways.
There's so many ways it can go. You know, getting all his upgrades queued up. That's good.
Myriad's going pretty. I mean, just 3 villager age up. He does have a good amount of villagers on wood, so it's probably not going to be just a straight fast castle. He's going to make some units.
I imagine you have to do something, right?
The daimyo. Yeah, he's getting the upgrade, TC upgrade right away.
This makes me wonder if he's going to go for like an archer play.
Knight, right? I mean, he has a stable down, right?
Oh, is it stable?
I
missed that.
I thought I saw a stable. So both players have a stable down. So he's going to get that stable down. So I think he's going to get that knight just to put some pressure in, and then maybe goes from horseman. It depends, you know.
The daimyo bannerman, kind of like a mounted samurai light a little bit, but very powerful in the early game.
Knight.
Yeah, it's like a feudal knight, which is kind of a unique. It kind of funny how the meta for that went unnoticed for quite a while for Japanese. Took a while for people to realize you could build that in feudal age and that it's basically like a one-off knight. Kind of a neat thing. Meanwhile, the Ghazi raiders do pretty good here, though. They're gonna start heading out towards the first sacred site. Is he gonna dump it in?
Oh, there we go.
Ooh, interesting choice to put that in there. He's gonna pump out. I just worry Delhi doesn't have the food. You pop it in there to pump out a bunch of horsemen or a bunch of Ghazis, but you don't have the food to do that.
Oh, Myriad's still getting sheep right now. He's still getting sheep around Magic Space, so it's just really tough. Extra sheep advantage Myriad, and
yeah, I feel like the scholar would be better used somewhere else, like to get the faster upgrades. Because again, like you're only able to queue like a Ghazi every now and then. You just don't have the food for that right now. So Magic, trying to pump out units as fast as you can, but I feel like you could maybe put that in a better place. I don't know if Ghazis are going to work as well here, considering that all you got is a bannerman to go after. Well, there, he pulls him out to heal. I do like the heal there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Ghazis are always strong, right? It's strong enough for Delhi and Feudal, and because Myriad doesn't really have spears and is going for horsemen, Ghazis are a good play here. It's just that, like you said, food's going to eventually become an option. Now, food's not really an option or a problem right now because he's going to looking to wall up. He has some berries. And so for now it's okay, but it's going to get, you know, as the game goes on, food's going to definitely be an issue.
That wall up now is going to be really helpful. That wall will be very helpful to start things out. And just a little raiding force. I like this. Trying to get a villager if he can. He probably will get one.
He'll get one, yeah.
Maybe even 2. Just 1. He takes it though, you know, he takes it. Meanwhile, Magic, as Myriad in his base as well, has to pull off the gold for a second. A lot of cavalry both sides, and we see some Onobu Geisha coming out for Myriad. That's kind of spicy.
Yeah, that can be a little kind of a problem for Magic. Now, he has Sanctity already researched, and Pro Scout's halfway done, so he's going to look to kind of try to grab those sites. And I don't know if he scouted out the Geishas. There's already 3 on the field, 1 more in queue, so I think he's just going to go for that melee comp for Japanese. With that knight, the horseman going to pack a punch. I don't know if he can get. Yeah, he's making scouts for Pro Scouts right now, I think.
Pro Scouts in the back of this for Magic, indeed, looking to secure food long term. Problem is he does have units in his base. They may not be on the deer yet, but they're wrapping around. I'm sure Myriad is looking for those vills. Magic already aware of this, trying to find some guys to get onto that as well. They push forward, but Myriad quick to react, sends them back out. And the villagers are free to go back to their scheduled berry gathering activities.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that there's a back berries so that you can kind of establish food income in the back safely as you figure things out with Pro Scouts. So that's definitely
interesting.
Good for Magic.
Those horsemen catch up to the mounted samurai, the bannermen, because the horsemen are faster than him. So the rest of Myriad's forces are just kind of going with his speed. He needs to turn and take a fight here, actually, or he will just slowly lose those to the trickle damage.
Yeah, it's just the knight is slow. Normally, regular horsemen should be a little faster than Ghazis, but
because they're in formation,
you said, knights are slowing him down. He could take it, I guess, but he just doesn't want to lose the knight. Now he sees Ugeishas.
Win is entering the chat. But of course, the easy answer is just mass archers, though, and that's something Magic does have a capability for. He's got a lot of wood. He will have a good amount of food coming in. He should be able to pivot pretty quickly into archers.
Yeah, so he is going to go double range. So he's going to go archers. Only 6 there's only 6 horsemen on the field, so it's not too concerning. There's plenty of Ghazis to kind of hold that. I don't think he will be able to get that middle side. He wisely pulls away before he loses the scholar, but hopefully he can get the far side before. Yeah, he does. So at least he has one side.
For a second anyways, as the horseman immediately gets on it. Good call by Myriad to send a force there.
Yeah, but I think he can, Magic can hold that if he can just send some cav that way.
Yeah.
You just want to get that initial cap so that you can get some gold. Those things are so scary always when you're playing. Just see them. Yes, these raids on food is going to be a problem for Magic for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, but the site does get decapped. I think Myriad or Magic realizes that he's probably not going to be able to go out on the map too much right now, just because of there's so many. Because Bugishas, you need a good amount of archers, like an archer ball, to kind of deal with them. And right now, I don't think Magic feels that he can. He is chasing some horsemen behind, and continuing with the pro scouts.
Other people in
These can raid
like little
too.
blenders. This good raid here, yeah, right on the berries. Again, this is the thing you have to hit against Ellie. They have to have it hurt in the food department. That's the only way you're going to win against them. Horsemen taking a good beating though, doing that. But here's our Bugisha. Yeah, the archers meet them immediately, and that's the tricky thing is they're fast, but they're not quite that fast when they've already been seen. Their best is like a surprise unit. You got to kind of hide them and then show them at the perfect moment. But behind this, Cow's pointing out, Myriad has a floating gate coming up with a pretty good start to his farm position back there with the Chorus storehouse as well.
Double stable.
Yeah, he's going to be mounted Sams.
Even. Triple stable mounted samurai, and look at the composition for Magic, right? You don't have Tower of Victory. Your archers don't hit that much, and you don't have spears. You don't have Tower of Victory spears. You don't have regular spears. So the triple stable mounted samurai is gonna, let's just say, be a problem for Magic, especially since he's not really close to age up at all. He is moving forward though. Maybe he's looking to do some damage. Okay, at least he's getting the sights, right?
Yeah, now at this point Magic's probably feeling secure enough to gather all 3 of those sites. The Onibagesha are spooky, and they'll probably decap that one for a second. Ghazis don't really want to fight the Onibagesha one-on-one, but the archers, that's a matchup he's going to love to take.
Oh my god. If he had realized, could have gotten like 5-6 Bagishas right there. But yeah, those are going to be pestering around in the base, trying to get some real kills. But the big problem is the knights, right?
Yeah, most certainly.
Mounted samurais do cost a lot of gold, so
they're really expensive. Like they're super good units, but they are not cheap. They're hard to produce, and so when you got the bannermen there, you've got to definitely make them, and you got to have them. But it's hard. I feel like maybe Myriad put down one too many barracks right off the bat. Like it's hard to really triple produce those.
Yeah, I mean, it is what you want to make right now, and so Myriad, he's not, it's the right call to trying to focus on mounted samurai. The only problem is right now there's a lot of units out of your base and on your production, even though you might have the right units, could still be a problem. But right now he's going to be able to clean up. There's, the right units out there, and he's going to eventually overwhelm this fuel mass, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, but he just Magic
right on the gold.
He's just targeting gold.
Yep. He knows that's the source of where these mounted samurai are going to come from.
Where did the Yoshiro go in? The first one, I wonder. Oh, in the TC. Okay.
Wolo comes out. Not going to be much done there.
His units.
Yeah, pretty good value. Getting some good idle time here.
Look at the economy from Myriad. Not to mention just like villager kills, but also more than half of Myriad's economy was idle. He's now just getting it back into shape. 36-44 villager difference. Triple sites for Magic, and he's aging up behind it. So now Magic's able to turn a really bad situation into maybe a feasible one. he is going to spears as well. So Magic knows what's doing.
Mounted Samurai. Trying to get on that sacred site. He's going to just run through. At this point, though, Magic's looking pretty good. Military numbers. I mean, Myriad needs to stabilize enough to get enough of those Mounted Samurai on the field. If he can do that, it'll be good. But Magic catching up in Castle Age here. Yeah, he's a little bit behind the times here for Myriad, but eventually, like, the longer this game goes, the better Delhi's going to get.
Yeah. Magic's been doing a great job targeting the gold. He's gotten the attention on Myriad's base so that he doesn't have to deal with the raids. Now this in-between transition point might be difficult. He's losing most of his Ghazis. He is getting build kills and he's delaying the gold. Yeah, like you can see, Myriad has so much food, but he doesn't have any gold, so he can't produce properly. He only has 6 Mountain Samurai on the field, and this is kind of what Magic's been able to do, targeting the gold so effectively, right?
Yeah, oh man, the raids on the gold have been so good on both sides. And that's really is like, it's like for Delhi, you gotta hit the food, you know, like that's their weakness. For Japanese, it really is that gold when they get into Castle Age. They want the premium units. If they can't build it, they're not going to be able to do anything with it. We do see honed blades in the queue. So men-at-arms transition maybe in the works eventually for Delhi, but that's probably it's a good couple minutes later down the road. Meanwhile, though, yeah, Magic's pulling ahead. I mean, 18 villager kills is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, and his Dome of Faith Delhi, right? So his eco is going to be okay in terms of research speed. Now, the honed blades for now is probably more towards. I think that's the first thing he's getting, right? In the landmark, yeah. So he's more for knights right now. I think he's doing 1 elephant. He did queue more knights, but then he changed his mind, going for that big boy, and he's going to keep pressuring with those units. And I think Magic's in a great spot, like you said.
Yeah, at this point, like, Myriad's trying to find a way to stabilize, but he just is having a hard time getting the numbers he needs to deal with what Magic has. He does have the Yoroshido in the gold, which does help a lot, but he's losing another one there to, losing another monk, or what do you call those? Shinto priests, that's the word. Losing one of those on the relic hurts a little bit. It just feels like Magic's doing what Delhi does best. Has all the sacred sites, is flooding the earth with Ghazi and spears, making life difficult, getting upgrades behind this. In Japanese, Myriad just looking for an answer, doesn't have one.
Yeah, and the other thing is Myriad has been so focused on defending his base and kind of moving villagers around not to lose that many villagers that he hasn't been able to get relics, right? So actually, Magic would always... Oh, he put him in the base. Okay, that makes more sense because he has that free relic, right? Or free priest, Shinto priest, like you said. The big boy
elephants. There they are.
The elephant.
There he is in all his tusked glory. And this is where it's like, this is where the wheels start falling off for Japanese, right? Like, especially if you start pulling out the scholars and healing that bad boy back up. Yumi aren't going to do enough against the elephant, frankly.
No. It's all fun and games until the elephant shows up. The elephant shows up. And yeah,
elephant.
He's going to spears now. And the Onimushas, right? So knights... to kind of counter the knights, and the spears going to a range unit, the crossbows of the Japanese.
Yeah, Myriad's got a good amount of 9 mounted samurai now on the field, so that starts feeling pretty good. He is producing spears as well, and he does have some Onimusha in the queue. This game's not over yet, as Myriad's got a pretty good sized bank. It's just the gold. He just needs to secure more gold.
Yeah. Yeah, he still has 3 sites. He wasn't able to decap that 3rd site just on the cusp. I think he moved his Mountain Samurai. Myriad did a little too early. Good amount of idle time here because the Mountain Samurai are here, but Magic has his own knights to try to defend the spot. Yeah, still just keeping that site. That's huge. 3 sites, gold income is huge.
So much gold income, and that's been the difference this game. Finally, another Shinto priest grabs that relic that was sitting there.
Yeah. I mean, Ken was pointing out the difference in villager count in terms of how many villagers are gathering gold. I'm sure.
Oh my gosh!
Myriad has like a whole
another
20
Shinto
villagers. Yeah,
it's.
He does have relics now though, so hopefully that helps a little bit. But yeah, 3 sites definitely. A huge gold income.
And at night, getting another Shinto priest. That's just so unfortunate that it was just chilling there and then dies. Meanwhile, others are just chilling around doing nothing. Wall's coming up now, and these feel very overdue for Myriad. He needs to get these up. But the problem is, Elephant's not going to care. He's just going to knock on the palisades and break right through. And even though you got a good number of mounted samurai, you got a good number of spears, man, you're boxing your base is the problem. You feel comfortable defending, but you don't really feel comfortable moving out at this point if you're Japanese.
Yeah, I mean, especially with a military advantage that Magic has, and 8 scholars, 3 more in queue, a lot of just tech for Magic in terms of free upgrades that he's able to get, right? As the game goes on, he's going to be able to get more of that. Now, and at the end of the day, Myriad has 3 relics, which is decent, and he does has the upgrade for his TC, boosting his food income. He doesn't have that many farms, though. All right.
He's probably feeling pretty good that he's got it. Fudashi still sitting right there, untapped. He could grab that if he wanted to, as Cow is showing us. Sacred Site. Where's the point? We're reaching the point where the Sacred Site timer starts coming into play. Like, it's close enough now with 4 minutes. We see that Myriad trying to decap it. That timer's just been drumming away slowly and surely, and that could become and that's kind of the brilliant thing about Delhi as a civ, right? Is at first it's not a win condition, it's just a bonus. But if you hold on to all of them long enough, suddenly it becomes a win condition. Then it gets real scary, and then you can have your opponent scrambling to try and make something happen.
Yeah, I think Magic here probably wants to lean in, and he is. He's making more archers, but archers both for spears and the Onimusha's a great option here, just as a backline. But yeah, Magic in terms of military is a-okay. That elephant to tank. He's got a bunch of other supporting units. That spear is probably going to be able to decap though, so it's probably gonna. There we go.
Yep.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. That resets the timer and gives Myriad a lot of much needed breathing room, because this game is far from over now. That sacred timer made it interesting, but now in comes the spears. Big engagement here. The final 2 armies decide to clash. Big fight as spear goes on spears. A couple of archers on both sides. Onimusha trying to target down that elephant. It's going down slowly. There are a couple scholars back there. It will go down, however. Onimusha do their job and back off and kite a little more as the knights now and lancers keep duking it out.
Yeah, I mean, the elephant does go down, but it just tanked so many volleys of Onimusha fire that the other units, right, the knights and the spears just had free range to kind of do damage. And I think Magic is happy with that fight, right? Oh, especially now there's some rage as well.
Yeah, I imagine so. Looks like we reset again. Knights, man, Magic's been really good at just sending 1 Lancer into the back constantly. He's picked off more Shinto priests than I know how to count, and he just keeps getting more and more vills. 23 villager deaths.
I will say, though, I don't know if Magic's only on 1 blacksmith, but those blacksmith techs are coming in pretty slow considering the fact that he has 12 scholars. So I think he probably has only maybe 1, what's it called? Yeah, blacksmith. So you probably want to, even with the Dome of Faith, you want to add another blacksmith or 2 just to get that advantage, right? Because that's a huge, especially in these big fights with a lot of range units, you want to get that tech advantage in terms of upgrades. All right.
Most definitely. We see now moving in, breaking through the wall, walking into the back of the base. This is where it gets really scary if you're Myriad. You've got a whole lot of prickly spears like a giant porcupine walking through your base. And you got to figure out how to deal with that real quick in a hurry. And Onimusha can kite, but they cannot stand and fight.
Yeah.
Yumi trying to.
Like Magic is.
Yumi are off the side.
And Yumi, 21 Yumi, right? And he's gonna get that Bannerman as well. So eventually, those Spearmen are gonna be very vulnerable. But I think Magic is just kind of trying to attack the eco more so, trying to split off some knights, do some damage. I don't think Magic can stay here too long just because it's under TC. And, you know, the Yumi are doing decent damage.
Most definitely. Spear's still there. I hear more elephants in the queue popping out. They are on the way. Another war elephant is coming across. It'll take a while, but oh man, Vill's exposed.
Yeah, the problem for Myriad is all of his resources of interest are on that side.
It's so many vills, and that's going to be, when you start seeing the vills idling in the base like that, it starts feeling like the game might be almost up. as he's just sitting on top of the base. Onimusha trying to do as much as they can to slow and stem the tide. However, he is losing some steam here. Always got some archers left in the base, but a lot of damage dealt. 40 villager kills to 3. This might have been a military that Magic threw away, but how much damage did he get? The answer is a ton.
Yeah, but in terms of military count, he's still okay, right? He still has a decent mass to kind of mass up back home. Now, Myriad is probably going to try to push the issue. That villager is confused. Why am I having to build a wall? Yeah.
At this point, we see Myriad trying to like branch out a little bit and get some other resources. The tricky thing is he's got a pretty good amount of gold in the bank, but now he's just kind of starving for food. He needs to keep producing. The military numbers are very close to equal. The tricky thing is though, is Magic is so far ahead economically. Look at the resources a minute on food for each of the players.
Yeah. I think he has a decent farm transition in the back, all the way in the back, very safe. So his food eco's definitely solid there. I mean, this is a little bit of a bad positioning for Magic's army because there's so much Yumi. Yeah, I think he's just trying to retreat, trying to show and tank with that elephant and try to go back a little bit. And he's going into Ghazi's, right, a little more.
Into the base now. Myriad finally able to get and return the favor and get in there on Magic's base. He's not going to stay too long. It looks like the elephant is there. He's going to try and get those samurai in and out. He was thinking about diving in deeper with them, but decides to stay massed up together. Onimusha and Yumi trying to pick off the prickly spears. Kiting begins. That elephant, though, looming large behind the scenes. That's such a problem. And like you said before, such a meat shield that just defends and focuses so much fire on it.
The Yumi are so annoying because they kite so well, right? Against crossbows, against other units. They just do damage and they run away. Do damage and run away. And it's kind of really annoying to try to chase them. But as long as Magic doesn't, lose something really huge, like a whole army situation, or lose a lot of villagers, he is ahead, right? He has a significant economic advantage. He still has a military advantage in terms of army count. And the value... army value is also better, so in every metric, Magic is in the good spot. He just has to kind of hold and not do too much, not let Myriad get back into the game, essentially. Yeah, and that's easier said than done. He's got to make sure he just keeps pushing and pushing and holding on to this. It's tricky knowing when to not overextend. To see another Shinto priest dies for his cause, doesn't get the city side up. A mass moving out, though, from Myriad. Looks like he's going to take another stab at it. Both forces massed up, ready to go. Meanwhile, though, he does have a second party of samurai on the outside trying to get the wall. That will distract a little bit of Magic's forces as well. I will say that I do like Magic's comp right now. He's leaving very heavily into Ghazi's, and they can raid, and they can also do very well against both Onimushas and Yumis, right? And that's kind of the problem here. And kind of crossbows for the samurais, the mounted samurai. So that's the idea from Magic, and I think I do like that because he has a decent farm transition, 2k food per minute, and he can afford those Ghazis. And yeah, so he just kind of push the issue with his advantage, eco advantage. Exactly. We do see Magic on the cusp of jumping into the base again. The elephant was thinking about charging all the way in. Instead, they're going to take the tower out first, then the house. So, wow. No problem. Myriad is decapping the site on the top side there. You gotta pay attention though. Attack one, please. There we go. I always get nightmares in terms of not A-moving. Yeah. Yep. Samurai running back, looking for the flank on the back on the crossbows and the archers. They get on top. Can they do enough damage? Elephant taking up so much of the Onimusha's fire. Getting healed up already, back up to half health. Samurai are down. There are no samurai to be seen. Is this going to be it? Myriad back into the base, using the wall for cover. The elephant makes quick work of it and keeps pushing in. There's nowhere to run anymore but inside the base. Yeah, this is running on the wall. Essentially, Myriad doesn't really have many options here. As Yumi Mass is going to go down pretty quickly. He has no front line, right? All the gods are going to split away looking for villagers, hunting for villas. All of the pocket resources, the eco is going to go down for Myriad, and 20 military count here is just, yeah. Oh, it's so tough.
At this point, it looks like the writing's on the wall. It looks like Myriad has been backed up, and he can back up no farther. Elephant on top of the Talent Center, and that will be GG called.
Magic ties up the series. Like I said, I mean, as long as it's a decent matchup, Magic has a solid chance, right? Yeah, we'll see what the matchup and the map for the last game point is, but this has been a pretty nice series. 2-2 at this stage, and Magic shows the power of Delhi.
That was a brutal game, and now this series is going to go the distance. Looking at the graphs here.
Yeah, look at the resources gathered. Yeah, exactly.
That really is the difference, you know. And it goes back to when he just started raiding Myriad's gold, right? Like that was just such a crucial part.
I mean, look at that earlier military count, right? Magic's military goes down a lot, but that is so crucial. That buys him enough time to safely go up to castle without the mounted samurais in his base bothering his eco, right? Like you said, attacking gold on both sides, not allowing Myriad to get gold was so huge. I mean, all of the mountain samurai production kind of halted at that stage, right? And we could see just 1,000 food being banked up and no gold. So definitely well played by Magic there.
Oh, well done. And now, I mean, you know, you got a good series when it goes to all 5 games, but we will have one more. One last winner takes all and gets their ticket to Denver stamped. Oh boy.
One game to rule them all.
One
game. What were you saying?
All the marbles
in the bag and everything else.
For the bag to put the marbles in when you go to Denver and win all of it there. Yeah. And it will be on, of course, finishing up on Rockies. That will be our final matchup. Oh, man. What a good day this has been.
Well, I will say, I do hope it's not English HRE, a long
hour-long slugfest. Yes. I would like a little more excitement than that.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's exciting, but it's just a roller coaster of fights.
It's a lot. It makes you feel like you need to take a breather afterwards, you know?
Yeah. All right, well, we'll see the matchup, though. Matchup's important. I don't remember exactly how many or what civs Magic has left compared to Myriad, but Myriad has been very good at planning ahead with this draft pool of civs that he has. So we'll see what he's able to kind of plan for the last game. And yeah, we'll see the matchup and on this Rockies. Yeah, see, at this point, he's trading out the resources or trading out the army, but they're doing so much damage to Myriad's eco, right? You were talking about, this is when a lot of villagers went down for Myriad and kind of went behind snowballed from there.
Hey, we're going to get our first look at Ayyubids today, as it'll be HRE into Ayyubids. Oh, that makes me excited. I love seeing Ayyubids being played. That is my, for anyone who doesn't know, that's my main civ. That's my favorite civ to play. I play that probably more than anything else. I'll play a handful of different civs, but that one's my cherished love.
Yeah, definitely. If you catch some soccer streams, you'll see the Ayyubids being at play.
You will see
and
it.
If you watch enough, you'll be able to get nice John Cena redemptions.
Redemptions, yeah. It's been too long. It's been too long, yeah.
Ayyubids for Magic, I think, here, right? And then Myriad is on HRE, is my understanding.
I believe so, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an interesting matchup. I don't feel like Ayyubids has a terrible matchup into HRE. I'm not so sure about on Rockies as a map how that affects things, though. I feel like I could see it going either way. I don't really know. Like when I play as Ayyubids and I'm playing into HRE on the ladder, I'm gonna take this with a grain of salt because I'm sitting at like platinum on any given day, right? Like I don't cringe and go, oh no, not HRE. Like it's not a civ I'm like scared of, but you gotta be cognizant of like the fast castle tends to be the play from HRE. But they could also go for some feudal aggression. But if they do, then you just castle up and get the relics. It feels like the relics really come into play with the dervishes and their speed that they have to grab them. So it's not a bad matchup for either, I think.
No, I don't think so. So it used to be when Ayyubid first came out that the military wing immediately gave you that Desert Raider, and that was really of a problem for HRE because you get pressured, and meanwhile the Ayyubid player is able to go to castle directly, right? So,
Mhm.
but then eventually it was a little nerfed, so military wing is not as strong right now. But having said that, like you said, Ayyubid has some good option. You can go for that feudal dervish play so that you can actually get some value out of them in terms of healing, but also go castle and yoink the relics really, really quickly, deny relics from HRE, which is huge, right? So yeah, like you said, it's not bad for either Civ, I think, or it's not like overly bad like Mali versus French kind of thing. It could be good for Ayyubid. We'll just have to see how it plays out.
And what a game this was too. Elephants, man. Elephants coming in to save the day for Magic. I'd love to see it. This last one should be fun, though.
You have like a vocab on your on a phone or your like whatever. The vocab of the day. I think we should have AoE 4 vocab, and elephants is definitely
elephants on top of the list. I agree. That's fun. Oh man, too good. Well, we got one more game coming up very shortly. It is a tied series, 2-2. Will be HRA versus Ayyubids on Rockies. Very fitting to finish on that one, I think. And yeah, game 5, man. Game number 5. I'm getting a little tired. What are you, Yak?
Yeah, I mean, I am a little feeling the. I mean, we're not playing long.
We're not
games,
even playing.
But
we're just watching.
Yeah, it does hurt me to kind of see Mongols not being used here, but HRE is definitely a good choice here. Mongol or HRE versus Ayyubids. I think as long as it doesn't go for 2 hours, the last game we'll be happy because this is the game to rule them all. Right? This is the Rockies. We just want some good action. And I think we've been having a great series throughout the day. Exactly. And it's 2-2. I mean, what else can you ask for? This is the finals of the qualifiers, and it's 2-2, and it's the game deciding, or the the series deciding game.
Series deciding
game deciding game
fun.
too, I guess.
This should be fun. Oh, we got 40 seconds. This is my moment to tell you all to remember, if you want to donate and help us get that little blue bar a little longer and a little across the edge, you should go ahead and donate. Use exclamation point donate or exclamation point.
Nope. It's hard for me.
I can't say that fast enough. Matcherino, you should take a look at the Matcherino link. Donate if you can. If you can't, that's fine. Just keep supporting us by watching the channel and commenting and doing all those other things you can do that are free. And if you want to buy merch, there is a link for the merch. You should take a look at that as well. Get your very own King of the Rockies t-shirt or hoodie or both if you want to be really cool. And we also have tickets to the event. You should come out to Denver, meet us, meet me, hopefully meet Yak. You better be out there, Yak. Hoping to see you out there.
I mean, we're the attraction, right? Soccerton and Yakkerton.
I'm the reason you should go. Everyone wants to go and meet me, right? I am the reason, totally not the other cool guys who play at an insane level. And I'll tell you, I was so starstruck last year just to be in the presence of these guys. And the funny thing is, everyone's just a bunch of chill dudes. Like, they're all just super cool, super relaxed, super fun. And you realize that everyone's just a person, you know. But man, it's so fun getting to rub shoulders with them and kind of hear their insights about the game live and in person. Speaking of live, we've got one last game. We've been hyping it up. Here is the final game of the day and the last qualifying spot open for grabs. It will either be Myriad or Magic. Right now, we don't know, but we'll find out here soon. In the red as HRE, Myriad here in the northwest, and in the southeast in purple, IamMagic as the Ayyubids.
I'll bring out the purple for this game. Nice colors, definitely a fan of red. Now let's look at some of the spawns. For Magic, the wood lines, right? The forward wood line, double forward wood line. Now, I don't know if Myriad's going to go for full feudal, so if he doesn't, then it's less of a problem because you have a safe back gold, you have some berries, and you know, you're okay. But for Myriad, also forward wood lines and forward gold, double forward gold. So that is could be some a point of concern for him, especially as the game continues to go on. His gold is just going to be a little too exposed at times, right? Yeah.
Oh, certainly. And the fun thing again about this map is that it just feels like the distance that everything is so much more condensed, right? Like the relics are a lot closer, so that race in particular will be a lot quicker. Looks like the relic spawn actually a little bit in favor of Magic, I would say. It looks like they're a little closer, but whether or not that'll matter is to be seen. Meanwhile,
well, I mean, the forward or the middle ones are kind of lined up, but one thing is Myriad has that relic very far off in the corner, so it's a little safer. The majority of the relics might be closer to Magic a little bit, but the safe relic is not as safe for Magic. So probably a little balanced, right? It's not too bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely. See the sheep being gathered around here. I love how the Rockies, if you look at the map, has a little river on it in the corner there.
Yeah,
that turns into the Grand Canyon eventually. Fun fact.
That's also like a nice spot to, oh wow, look at that cinematic.
Beautiful. Look at that. Oh gosh, you're watching this in like 1080p right now.
Imagine the players are watching back the stream and then we're just
focusing on the river. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a shot over the mountains and here in the. This is like where Denver would be at right now. That's how you go down into the mountains and then Denver's to the east of them right there. That's what it looks like, just like that. Thank you, Cal, for that beautiful demonstration. Cinematic.
All right, Culture Wing Logistics is what we're going for. So we're going for the Dervish.
I love this choice. I think this is, I think 9 times out of 10, this is my pick as Ayyubids. And this is a build that was kind of popularized by Puppy Paw sometime like last year. I don't think he was the one who originated, but it was popularized by him and some others. This is so good because it lets you be versatile. If you want to turtle down and go for a quick castle, you can use it to heal your villagers when you're under duress. You want to be more aggressive, you can use it to heal those units as they, get beat up a little bit. And then the nice thing is when you hit castle, you immediately have 2 anyways to go ahead and go grab 2 of the relics. And you could age up with those as 3, but I just think it opens the door for you to getting 7 villagers in castle age still. And I just really enjoy the way that plays out. I think it's the right choice for you, but it's more often than not.
Yeah. And I mean, especially if you've played against it, you know how oppressive it can be. You have all these units trying to kill 1 horseman and it's getting healed by 2 dervishes, and you're like, oh my god, I just lost my entire early army because I'm trying to kill 1 unit. And so it can be definitely very strong. And like you said, you can age up with the logistics for castle wing or castle age. But the thing about that is you still have to travel to the relic site, right? In this situation, you have 2 dervishes, but you can actually just park them at the far relics and just going those real quick as soon as you age up. So definitely very advantageous for the Ayyubid player versus HRE.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Well, and the interesting thing too is like with any given landmark, there is like a floor and a ceiling as to how much value you can get out of it, right? Like if you build, like say a mine work, let's say if you built the mine work and you never used any of the upgrades for it, it was of no value to you, right? But the dervishes,
mine doesn't work.
Yeah, the mine doesn't work. But with the dervish wing, as your age up, that's what you get for aging up. Is that's your perk you get. For them, the ceiling for those dervishes and why this is so good is that it is infinite. You can infinitely keep healing your units with those 2 dervishes. Like theoretically, the value you can get back is like as high as the sky. There is no cap. It's just how good are you at using them. The flip side is if you ever have them caught out and killed, that hurts really, really bad. So, and I've seen that happen even at a high level.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Magic is actually, in terms of sheep, he's much happier this game, right? He has a good amount of sheep under TC. He has dervishes moving forward. He's going to have a Desert Raider coming with the dervishes soon to put on some pressure. And Myriad's probably going for Pro Scouts, right? Yeah, Pro Scouts to complete it just now. He does have 2 forward wood lines, but they're under Aachen, so a lot more wood line under Aachen. That's one advantage here. But the double gold and the forward wood line, it could be a problem. Is I think Magic's gonna slowly go up to castle, making a few units and trying to put on pressure, and then kind of transition to castle.
Dervish is getting some value already, kind of sitting there with the Desert Raider. It's a fun choice. Nice, versatile unit as well, Desert Raiders. Able to get some pressure onto the HRE opponent there.
Got to be careful here, though.
Yeah, the horseman. One horseman's not a scary thing. The archers behind it get a little dicey. And again, you got to be really mindful as Pro Scouts start trickling in for Myriad.
Yeah, Myriad has that scout paying attention to what Magic is doing. Just to make sure he's not caught off guard by a fast age up or anything like that. Myriad is able to get the deer. Both deer packs are on one side, so he just has to secure that side of his map. And then, and then he'll have a lot of income from both the wood and the deer. And Magic has a tower on his gold, so He still has a decent gold income, so I think his goal is ultimately just to go to castle and then figure it out.
Yeah, I would think that's kind of where most players like I think it's one of the best things to do for like Ayyubids as well. You know, it's just get the castle. Like that's where the power spike really is. Like you do pretty good in feudal. Like Ayyubids can play a pretty good feudal, but you just know that your opponent, like Myriad's gonna get the castle pretty soon here. He's building some. Actually, he's kind of looking like all in, and he could go castle quickly, but he's gonna go all in here on the feudal age. Magic it just needs to get up to age, and then you get the camel lancers out, and then suddenly it's a whole new ball game again, and you have to really respect how good those units are.
Yeah, Myriad's able to scout that, so his scouting is very on point in terms of what Magic is planning on doing. So he moves forward his units, try to pressure the gold, pressure that food resources. Now, the thing is, Myriad has a safe, decent chunk of food under TC, so that's really advantageous for him. There's a tower on the gold, so even though this will be annoying, he will get extra.
On the castle age.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then once it pops out, immediately camel lancers deal with all of this, right? They deal with all those archers and they deal with those horsemen like they're nothing. And so it's just a matter of time here. And then plus the 7 vills, that immediate spike is going to really help make up what the Aachen is doing for Myriad.
Now the problem is he's not going to have that much magic, that wasn't meant as like that, but he's not going to have that much gold. Magic is, so he's not going to be able to pump camel riders. No wait, hold up, lancers. There we go. Camel lancers. It's late in the day, so I might mix up these names. So he's not going to be able to do too many gold heavy units. Maybe 1 or 2 lancers, and then he's going to have to secure that gold. But maybe that's not going to be able to stay here for too long, because even like 2 lancers is enough to take care of this, right?
Yeah, most definitely. We see an annoying horseman here from Magic trying to get onto that archer. He might be able to take it out. With a horseman in the mix, he's going to back off. Yeah, that gold now is actually open up. He can move back onto that, and he really should. He's still on the wood. He's got Desert Raiders still out and about, wrecking havoc. I bet he'll probably just put the next... I'm curious where his vills are queued up from that economic wing. He's got him on the wood still. Okay.
Some safe.
I'd pop him on the gold. I guess he got that army still sitting right there.
Yeah, you got to clear that up first. And Magic is kind of making horsemen just to deal with it, because horsemen are still decent in this situation, right? You want to counter the archers.
I love this.
He's got
sitting and camping the relics.
Exactly.
Big guarding them. And 2 in hand immediately. Feels pretty good against HRE. If he can get, 4 of them, that'd feel pretty nice. If he can get all the close ones next to him.
He doesn't go for the... Yeah.
Villain horses. I mean, he doesn't have any gold, really. He's probably thinking upgrades first.
Yeah.
Desert Raiders still do pretty good as well.
Go back onto gold, since now that the army is trying to wrap around on the other side. And yeah, if Magic had access to gold here, it would have been so nice in terms of while he was aging up. Now he has it back. He has the market down, try to sell some resources, but yeah, he's still in a decent position. He has 2 on the way. He has 1 already in the mosque, right? So he's going to get a lot of relics. HR just feels so bad without relics. And he got the far relic, right? One of the far relics.
Looks like one of the ones in the middle. His close one and one of the middle ones is mostly back to base. He had to drop it though.
Yeah.
And into the base, Myriad pushing in, trying to cause some damage. No heavy units to manage with this. He's only got horsemen, and most of them aren't home right now, as Myriad runs a pass through the base.
Well, this is a
taking
problem.
all the area.
He's going to lose.
He's going to lose a lot of stuff on this though, but Archer's just under fire from the TC. Might have overstayed his welcome there. Meanwhile, Magic's still out and about with his horsemen. A lot of idle time gauze, though.
I mean, a lot of idle time and 8 villagers, so the exact advantage that you have for getting up to castle has been negated here. And Myriad has pro scouts, right? So his eco advantage is not is still continuing, and yours is kind of negated.
There, yeah. The nice thing is he is going to have 3 relics, but that's not enough to make up for all of that just yet.
Yeah, I mean, Myriad still has the military advantage. Now, Magic is slowly adding premium units, castle units, right? He has 3 relics inside of the mosque, so that's going to be a decent gold income. I think Magic is aware of that relic.
You have
Yeah, he's
Camel Lancers
scouted
now
it,
on the
I
field, and
think.
this is where the tide begins to turn for Magic a little bit here as far as military engagements. Having those heavy units, and with the Dervishes healing behind it, is such a help.
Oh, one problem that Myriad has, though, I think he's out of food for now in terms of he's not being able to get that far deer pack. And even though he has the, yeah, he's going to slowly run out of deer here. And his sheep is not, yeah, I think Magic had more sheep just in general. He does have the map control now. He has both deer packs that he can try to go take, but he only has 2 scouts. So it's not going to be enough in terms of rate of gathering or securing deer. And one of the scouts is actively scouting.
One thing that Myriad has right now that Magic is very wary of are those spears. Myriad has just enough spears to keep the Camel Lancers from running rampant, and that is kind of a worry. You don't want to push into that when the spears do so much bonus damage, because otherwise, without them, Magic would take the fight in an instant, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be overstated how important Myriad kind of moving out denying gold was while Magic was aging up. Now, right now, eventually you want to transition to archers for Magic because Ayyubid archers, I'm sure you know, do very well, especially with that unique blacksmith upgrade for infantry, right? 25 damage and 20 movement speed. It's really huge in these big fights. And yeah, like I said, Myriad's trying to get the deer, but it's just 2 scouts, so his food income is not going to be as good as it was before. And he's moving out for that far relic. He does have a horseman trying to protect that relic.
A pretty big massive military, and it's right in the middle of the map there. Is that the Yak? What is it? The Yak? What do you call it? Yak rally? Yeah, the Yak rally. There you go. Right in the middle. But this time it's working, you know. That's quite a big mass there. Dervish is going to be able to grab this and run with it. That one horseman will not do enough damage to kill it, especially while it's holding the relic.
I don't even think he'll do enough damage to
even hurt it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, just like, get off of me. Get out of here. Well, that might be actually almost problematic. That might inspire the rest of there. You see the big red blob heading towards it. I say the one thing about that is you almost don't mind if it's just one, because let him just pick at you and ignore you. The moment you go, hey, here I am, Wololo, then suddenly everyone knows you're here. Meanwhile, though, Myriad does pick up 1 relic himself. The Dervish was a little slow to get there in time.
Yeah, he might. I don't know. He's focusing on the 2. You'd happily give away 1 or 2.
For the relic? Yeah.
Even 1.
Yep.
No, the Lancer,
one.
Right?
Yeah, the one Lancer for a relic, and every day. Every day.
And especially you're denying a relic from HRE. So it might end up being 4-1 in terms of relic splits, and that is absolutely huge for Magic. Yeah, I think it looks like it's secured that relic. So good news for him. It's got 1 relic, 1 Magnus relic. Got to feel bad for Myriad. Yeah, and from this point on, like I said, it's going to be a lot of archers, some Camel Lancers to raid, he's doing a great job. Magic is trying to raid and attack the food sources. And the other thing is try to deny Myriad from stealing more deer, right? He knows he has pro scouts. He's got to protect that deer because you don't want Akin deer just in general.
No, exactly. Sacred Site slowly being captured by the Prelate. Meanwhile, some walls on the side now for Magic. That's good. You know, secure that, keep that. That was kind of a thorn in his side early in the game. Having that secured now will make him feel good. And we are now almost 15 and a half minutes in, and I don't see a clear advantage one way or the other. I do see the relics in hand for Magic, 4 of them. That helps a lot. He does have a slight Vil lead now with 2, but the Aachen Chapel kind of makes up for that. Feels like all things considered, it feels rather equal right now.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. I think in terms of military, because he has an advantage, Myriad does, it's a little better, but in the long run, Magic definitely has the advantage here, right? Because of just 4 relics, and you're also denying opponent valuable, unique Civ advantage that is the relics, right? So as Magic builds up the Archer
the
ball
body block there.
Units, that's
what a good grab. What a raid turned disaster here in the corner as the units were just ready for him and able to trap him along the edge of the map. That's kind of a nice pickup there for Magic.
Yeah. And he has that wall on the right north side, so he's secure more or less there. And with these forward wood lines, it's a little more easier to wall. And you just kind of Magic at this point just gotta focus on making units and setting that up. Now, Cal was pointing out that Myriad does have a decent farm transition set up. Slowly it's getting that awesome farm transition. So
That will pay dividends
that's also an
long term.
advantage
Yeah.
for him.
Archers now in play. There's 33 archers to 18. 11. No, 20. Excuse me, 20 spears. So at this point, Magic's military looking kind of fierce. There are 11 crossbows for Myriad, however, and a couple of men-at-arms as well. At this point, though, I do think Magic has the edge as far as better comp right now.
He does have double attack in terms of ranged attack, and he has a decent 36 archers, like you said. So yeah, if they were taking a fight right now, I would definitely favor Magic's army just with the sheer numbers of range units.
Yeah, I mean, the 36 into 18 archers of Myriad, but those crossbows don't do as much if they aren't focus firing the camels. So Magic could easily swipe those spears out and then start sniping down the crossbows if he has the micro for it. So depending on how the fight goes, when it happens, Magic feels like, I feel like I like his comp right this minute.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, another thing, Count pointing out the gold, right?
Yep.
I mean, I think Magic still has some options there, both on both
He
sides of
shouldn't
the
be
map.
mining that much, though. He really doesn't need to have a lot on gold with 4 of the relics in hand. Like, that should not be your main focus. Food should be the biggest focus, I feel like.
Mango's a great idea, but he got interrupted, so he has to kind of take the fight here. He's still building the mango with some of the archers,
I love
but
that
those
choice.
are not shooting, right?
I think it's a really fun choice going, hey, I need to commit to this. It's almost up. He's going to get that up and on. And now the first fire, and that's going to immediately force Myriad back a little bit. Has to respect what the Mango can do to all his ranged units.
Yeah. I mean, what is Magic going to be using gold for? Lancers, right? Mostly, and Siege, I guess. So he definitely doesn't need that many on gold, like you were saying. More so on food and... Yeah, I mean, he just has generally good eco balance right now for just mass unit production, right? And he's just gonna mass mangoes, which is the right these mangoes. I'm sure as an Ayyubid player, you are
so fun. I love being able. I mean, who needs rams? So you can just porch stuff down, rain fire from the sky. Love it. Really fun. And it's just such a fun animation too. Let's be honest. It's just so satisfying to watch, especially when it hits farms and they just get melted. Oh yeah.
Magic also has that tier 3 golden age. Just getting that tier 3 and then focusing on army, doing that push, siege push. So how do you even respond to this, right? As Myriad, when those mangoes start massing up, there's really nothing to do.
Emergency repairs helps a little bit, but I think it's not long for this world. Then they just switch straight to the projectiles instead. Instead, they can just spray. That doesn't do as much, but pretty good damage onto the villagers, however.
Yeah, I think... I don't know if he changed. Maybe he's purposely going for the larger
spread.
attacker.
Yeah, it does have a lot larger spread. Harder to dodge, but not as much damage overall. Might need to switch those, though. He really needs to get a good shot in.
Should switch.
Or at least target all in the same spot. Archers, though, dealing as best they can. One of them is going to go down. Still just spraying fire all over, but yeah, he needs to switch these over. It's not enough. Although that shot might start doing some good work. There we go. Once they get low enough health, it starts making up again. And he had just enough range units to kind of keep up the pressure, because it does take some time for them to switch the type of projectile they shoot.
Yeah. Myriad is getting his only relic and trying to put it in the tower, I assume. Is it why he's trying to bring it up? I think he has a sprinkler upgrade, so he's trying to get value out of his relics and try to get increased damage there. Yeah, Myriad has no gold. And this is the problem, right? With the giving up, or not giving up, but like not having relics. And now all your gold is in the front. We talked about this all the way from the beginning of the game. Double front gold. And I think his third goal is also forward. So at this point, you have no gold. Spearmen, archers, and you're baking up food with no way to really use them. Maybe it goes into horsemen.
At this point, I think he's going to have emergency repairs back to that tower in time. Yeah, horseman's kind of all you're left with at this point, but then you run into the classic counter of, well, your opponent literally loves camels and is going to keep making camels, and that's what they're going to do. And there's the emergency repairs kicking in, slowing things down, buying some time for Myriad. But
he still has to upgrade the horseman, so he probably has to buy or sell resources, sell some food. Does he have a market? No, right? He has to build a market.
Adding the ram in now as well.
Upgrade.
At this point, Magic looking like he is knocking on the doors. Camels diving in, getting a Vil kill for their effort, and then backing away. I see that scene in Napoleon Dynamite, you know, break the grip, walk away. Break the grip, walk away. As we see the prelate taking the relic back home, doesn't want to lose it. This one precious relic that the HRE has.
Another thing is the Aachen is not that back, right? So it's still forward.
Yeah.
Woodlands were also forward, so
Honestly,
that's another
you
consideration.
should just move those mangonels and start shooting the farms. I mean, you can't keep them all safe at this point. They'll just melt.
If you just target the back or just right behind the base, right, or the Aachen, all of those farms
All of
go
that.
down.
That's kind of what we're seeing just immediately. Just all the resources into wood going in for those farms wiped out in a matter of seconds.
See, this is how like spawns are so important sometimes in these games, especially as the game continues on. Forward woodline and forward gold, and now you're kind of just in such a difficult position if you're Myriad.
Yeah, at this point now, it feels like he's trying to hold, but like once the farms are gone, like your food eco's just in shambles. You got 1,000 food, but your opponent is meanwhile just choosing, trying to go for a flank in the back, gets one of the mangonels. Horseman trying to make something out of nothing. A lot of spears in the front line. Oh, but what cost indeed. Mango is having to pull back a little bit. The Manjanique don't want to get popped, but they manage to get into the archers and start firing again and raining hellfire down from the back ropes. Camels clean up the spears.
Magic likes his fiery mangoes.
I don't blame him.
I don't think he's ever.
And the fire will lead him to victory.
Magic.
He blots the sun out with his own fire to win game number 5 and claim the final spot in King of the Rockies 2025. Congratulations to IamMagic, who is taking this one in 24 minutes flat and wins the series, going the distance with Myriad 3-2.
What a series. I mean, Magic was down 2-1, lost those 2 games because one on Prairie, right? And eventually just pulled it back with those Delhi game, and then now this game. Kind of stuck with it, eventually got the win. Myriad did definitely well played by Myriad. He had, good plan, a good draft in terms of getting the matchups he wanted, but eventually Magic is able to, get out the win.
Ayyubids, I think, is a little underrated against HRE because of just some of the things they do as far as snaking the relics, using the camels, the Manjanique. I'm reminded when I watch them play at this level why I play them. And but man, kudos to Magic for really hard fought series. Really,
Absolutely.
Both these players I feel like really gave it their all and looked in pretty good form. And so I'll be excited to see what we see from Myriad in the future. And I'm really excited to welcome Magic to King of the Rockies. So this has been a fun day, Yak. We've had a lot of fun games here.